Hi kids, hello bachcho, am I audible? Hi everyone, am I audible to you all? Hi. Hi everyone, so good evening. Welcome to Unacademy NEET English. I'm your biology educator Ambika Sharma, and today we are going to continue the animal kingdom part 2. So basically in today's chapter we will discuss all the phylums, and in the last class we have covered the basis of classification, right? So today overall we are going to revise this particular chapter. We will complete it. I'll provide you the notes in the Telegram group, right bache? And that's all. This is our weekly target, isn't it? This is our weekly target. Okay, good evening, good evening, good evening. So tell me kids, are you revising or you are just attending the classes, you are just making the notes and then tada bye bye? Tell me, how are you, how are you preparing for the NEET examination? Basically, tell me about your strategy. Let's discuss, let's interact, and then we will proceed. So do you have that dedication that yes, we want to crack the NEET examination? Are you preparing dedicatedly? Huh? So how are you revising? Like, you're just attending the classes, hai na? This is what I was expecting. Nahi ma'am, we are just attending the classes, that's all. Dedicatedly, we are not preparing at all, right? It's just that, okay, fine, we come, we watch your session, and then tada bye-bye, we forgot about it. Very seriously. Okay, tell me about your seriousness. How? How? Like how serious you are. What are you doing that you feel, yes, this is making me that is how I'm preparing in a different way. That is how I'm moving forward to score 360 out of 360 in biology or 720 out of 720 in NEET examination. Tell me, then we'll start. Okay, fine. If you're dependent on our batch, that's totally fine. But what are you doing from your end? Just attending the classes of this batch, that's all. Attending, revising, notes, practicing, okay, fine. Samiha, I can see these are the keywords that all the teachers use whenever they share any of the strategy video. Huh? In any of the strategy video, teachers are always used to be like this, that okay, you have to attend the classes, you have to make the notes, then you have to revise, then you have to practice the question. Guys, the one thing that you people need to understand, that you people need to learn is the consistency. Okay, you need to be consistent. Fine. Consistently, if you will revise, you study, whatever you are doing, do it every day. Do it every day. You will see the result. Not today, maybe not after 1 month, not after 2 months, but surely you will see the result. You will see that improvement. Okay, so focus on this 1% improvement. Right? Every day just try that, okay, today I am going to justify my day in a better way. Right? Today I'll be 1% better than yesterday. This is what you need to do. That's all. Okay? So promise, are you going to do it? Yes? Are you going to do it? So what? Acha, ma'am, I want your glasses. Take it if you can. Cockroach Kumar. Okay, fine, bache. Cockroach Kumar, very good. But take care of yourself, bache. Usually whenever people see cockroach, they... Okay. So now let's start. We are going to talk about the animal kingdom, right? This is the topic. This is the chapter. So basically, you know that 11 phylums are there. So write down the name of these 11 phylums in the chat section quickly. Write down the name of these 11 phylums in the chat section quickly. Everyone in the class, right? So you know that the first phylum that we need to study is Porifera. We are going to start the Porifera today, right? So Porifera, then comes the Cnidaria, also known as Coelenterata, then Ctenophora is there. Okay, then Platyhelminthes, fine, Platyhelminthes, then Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, right? Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and finally Chordata. So these are the 11 phylums that we need to revise, isn't it? Isn't it? Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. And we are going to start with the Porifera. So just for your quick revision, just have a look, right, bache? In the last class we have already covered it, but just for your quick revision. Okay, so here you people can see when you talk about the Animalia, the kingdom Animalia, of course, eukaryotic organisms will be there, right? Eukaryotic multicellular organisms will be there. Keep it in your head, right? So what type of body plan can be there? Cell aggregate. First is cell aggregate, tube within tube, blind sac body plan. So when it comes to the cell aggregate body plan, you have the poriferans. When you have the blind sac body plan, they have the incomplete digestive system, right? The organisms in which there is only one opening from where the food will enter, from where the food will leave, right? From where the food will enter, from where the food will leave, right? So such type of body plan is the blind sac body plan, and then tube within tube where there is the outer body wall and inner gut wall is there having two different openings. One is mouth, another is anus, right? One is mouth, another is anus. So this is what we have. Okay, okay, are you getting my point? Cockroach Kumar, good one, I really like it. Noise. Done, bache? So this is what we have revised in the last class. So let's talk about the main characters, main basis of classification that we need to study. So the very first thing is cellular level, right? So when it comes to the cellular level, means the multicellular body. Okay, the multicellular body. So bache, only poriferans are having cellular level of organization. Fine, only poriferans are having cellular level of organization. Just remember it. Okay, okay. Then Cnidaria and Ctenophora, tissue level of organization. Here the cells, they are making the tissue. Then when you talk about the Platyhelminthes, organ level of organization is there. And then from Aschelminthes to Chordata, what do we have? We have organ system. Okay, what do we have? We have organ system. Is that clear, bacho? So this is what you need to revise. Okay, so this is the first character. Now, next is the symmetry. So you know that mostly they are asymmetrical. Again, just have a look. So the first thing is what? Asymmetrical body, right? So poriferans, what are they? They are asymmetrical. They do not have a proper symmetry. But as I said, mostly asymmetrical. So we have examples in which we will see the radial symmetry, but mostly poriferans are what? They do not have the symmetry, right, bache? Now the Cnidaria, Ctenophora, and even adult echinoderms. Cnidaria, Ctenophora, and adult echinoderms. What do they have? Radial symmetry. Then from Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Hemichordata, Chordata, what do they have? They have bilateral symmetry. Right, they have bilateral symmetry, and even the larvae of the phylum Echinodermata, they are also having the bilateral symmetry, right, bache? So on the base, right, this is about the symmetry. Now the next character is the body cavity or coelom. So we have three words here: acoelomates, pseudocoelomates, true coelomates. Clear? Acoelomates, pseudocoelomates, eucoelomate, eucoelomates. You means true. So acoelomate will be your Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, right? They all are what? They are acoelomates. Fine, acoelomates. And Aschelminthes, your roundworm, pseudocoelomates, and remaining all the phylums, the organisms of these phylum, they are what? They are coelomates. Clear, bache? Now when it comes to the germ layers, Porifera, no germ layer. Coelenterata ctenophora, diploblastic, the rest all are triploblastic. That is how you need to revise. Okay, that is how you need to revise. So now let's start with the first phylum, that is Porifera, pore-bearing organisms. Okay, right? Next phylum is what? Phylum Porifera. And in Porifera, what do we have, bache? Pore-bearing organisms. What type of organisms are there? Quickly type it in the chat section. Pore-bearing organisms. They have minute pores in their body. You know, bache, earlier, these poriferans, they were not even considered, right? These poriferans, they were not even considered as animals, right? Right, they were considered as plants. Why? Because the poriferans, they were sessile. What is the meaning of sessile? Can you tell me? Can you tell me the meaning of sessile? Yes, bacho. What is the meaning of sessile? Anyone? Sessile means attached to the substratum. What is the meaning of sessile? It means attached to the substratum. It is attached to the surface. So when you talk about the poriferans, you will find that they are fixed. They are attached to a substratum. They are sessile. Okay, they are sessile. So they were considered as plants, not as animals. But later on, when scientists they studied their life cycle, their embryonic development, then they got to know that they are animals, not the plants. Okay, fine. So poriferans, pore-bearing organisms having minute pores in their body. This is the meaning of being a poriferan. Clear, bache? So how to remember it? See, it's a very simple structure, right? You will see different type of shapes in poriferans. Let's say we are taking this shape, right? Flower vase like shape. Okay. So here in the case of poriferans, you will see there are minute. You will see that there are minute pores. Okay, they are aquatic organisms. Firstly, I'll tell you the basics, then we will revise it from the NCERT. Okay, so bache, you know that this chapter is quite lengthy. There are so many examples to remember. So first of all, just focus on the phylum's name, then basis of classification, then one by one, just revise. Focus on the peculiar feature of a particular phylum. That's all. With time, till your May 2024, you will be able to revise the diagrams, right? Your examples will be there on your fingertips. Fine. So let's say this is a poriferan, pore-bearing organism. So here you guys can see minute pores, and we used to call it as ostia, right? Body is perforated, ostia. Water will enter from this ostia, and this large pore is osculum, right? It is osculum. Water will go out. Water will go out. Done, bache? So these are the poriferans. Now, you people know the basic point, isn't it? All of you know some basic points, isn't it? Isn't it? Like in the case of poriferan, we know that cellular level of organization is there. Right? Cellular level of organization is there. I'll write the keyword only. They are mostly asymmetrical. No germ layer, but okay, fine. In some books, they are given as diploblastic, but they do not have a proper germ layer, right? No germ layer, they are acoelomates. Clear, bache? They are acoelomates. So see, from the basis of classification, this is what we can remember. Okay, so write down the exceptions here. When you talk about the asymmetrical poriferans, just write down the exceptions, and the exception is Sycon and Leucosolenia. Right, Sycon and Leucosolenia. So these two poriferans, they have radial symmetry. They are not asymmetrical. Which symmetry do they have? They have radial symmetry. Clear, bache? They have radial symmetry. So these are the poriferans. So as I said, commonly known as sponges. They can absorb the water. Right, they are generally marine. So focus on these lines. These lines, they are generally marine. But generally marine means maximum form, right? Generally marine means maximum forms are what? Maximum forms are marine. But yes, they are also fresh. We also found them in the fresh water, right? So here you guys can put down one example, and that is the freshwater sponge. Can you tell me the name of the freshwater sponge? It's a very famous question. Anyone in the class? Can you tell me the name of the freshwater sponge? The example here is Spongilla, right? It's Spongilla, Spongilla, wet, right? So Spongilla. Clear, bache? This is important. Then you know they are asymmetrical. Again, you can put the exceptions here. That is Sycon and Leucosolania. Right? And then they are primitive. Of course, we can see that. Cellular level of organization, of course, we know it. Now, this is what you need to focus. And see, this is a wonderful diagram of a porifera. Osculum and ostia. Osculum for exterior, ostium for the interior. So now what is it? Now, when you talk about the poriferans, what are you going to notice in their body? You will notice 3 layers. What will you see? You will see 3 layers. Like, let's say this is the internal section of a poriferan. Okay, let's say this is the internal section, internal longitudinal section of a poriferan. Now, in the case of porifera, what will we see, bache? Yes, in the case of poriferan, what are you going to see? Yes, there will be the outer layer, right? There will be this outer layer. We used to call it as pinacoderm. What is it? It is pinacoderm. Outermost layer is there. We used to call it as pinacoderm. Now here, internally, you will see some empty space. You will see some cavity. And that cavity is lined with some special cells. And you are not going to find these cells in other phylums of animal kingdom. You will find it here only in your porifera. Okay? Where will you find it? You will find it here only in the porifera. So see this. So that is a kind of peculiar feature in the case of what? In the case of poriferan. So just observe this diagram. So here what you people can see, outermost layer pinacoderm. Now these some special cells are also making the layer, and now there is a layer in between. See this yellowish part. This yellowish part. It is also a layer. Right? It is also a layer. So try to understand this part, bache. Don't try to cram it. Just focus and try to understand it. Ki, okay, let's take it as a challenge. Ki, okay, today I'm trying to know about the other creatures, right, which are present on this planet Earth. Take it like this. So here you people can see this space here in between. It's the cavity. Right? So many times students, they confuse this cavity word with the coelom. It happens? Yes or no? Many times students, they confuse this cavity word with the coelom. According to them, they are acoelomates. Then why do they have the cavity? See, whenever we use the word coelom, the body cavity, in its definition, we always mention that within the body, in between ectoderm and endoderm, there will be a space, but that space is lined with the mesoderm from both the sides. Okay. Okay, whenever the word is coelom, so we are saying that there is a space, and that space is lined with what? That space is lined with the mesoderm from both the sides. But here, in general, there is a cavity. In general, there is a space in between, right? And obviously, it is for the water movement. Clear? So now, let's zoom this part. Okay, let's magnify this portion. Let's see what do we have here. So the very first thing that you need to know is this outer layer. Okay, this outer layer. So, as I said, the name for this outer layer is what? It is the pinacoderm. Right? Simple cells are present here. That's pinacoderm. And here, these flagellated cell. This is the structure of this flagellated cell. Don't you think, bache, that they look like a collar? Yes, they look like a collar. Don't you think so? Let me draw it here. This is the shape of the cell. It's a flagellated cell. It is a flagellated cell. It's a peculiar feature of phylum Porifera. We used to call these cells choanocytes. What are they? They are choanocytes. Okay, so they are also known as collar cells. They are also known as collar cells. They are also known as flagellated cells. Fine, choanocytes. So it is a peculiar feature of the phylum Porifera. You are not going to find these cells in any other phylum. So what is it? These are the choanocytes. These are the collar cells. They are flagellated. It is not cilia, it is flagella. Clear, bache? So can you see these choanocytes? They are also making a layer inside, right? And this layer is lining this cavity, right? Can you see that these cells, they are making a layer, and this layer is lining this cavity. So this layer is what? So we also call this layer as choanoderm. Choanocytes are making it. So we are using the word choanoderm. So in the case of poriferans, outermost is the pinacoderm, right? This layer is the pinacoderm. These individual cells here are pinacocytes. Okay, they are pinacocytes. If you cannot remember it, it's fine, but you should know about this particular layer, which is very important. So this innermost layer is the choanoderm, made up of cells, which cells? Choanocytes. Clear, bache? So they are lining this cavity. Okay, so in between these two layers, you will see some jelly-like layer, and you used to call it as mesohyle. What is it, bache? That is mesohyle, this layer. This layer, what is it? It's mesohyle, present in between. Fine, mesohyle is the word. Mesohyle is the word. And here in this mesohyle, bache, there are different types of cells. Okay, different types of cells are there. Moreover, here in this layer, we will also see some type of spicules. Okay, some type of spicules are also there, and that spicules, they serve as the skeleton of the poriferans. Just look at this body. It is a spongy body, right? It lives in water. It doesn't have a proper skeleton to protect it. It doesn't have a proper skeleton which can provide it a shape, right? So here in the case of poriferans, in mesohyle, in this layer, you will see some spicules. That spicules can be calcareous, that is, they are made up of calcium. They can be siliceous. Some fibers can be there. Okay, some fibers can be there. So on the basis of these spicules, we divide the members of porifera into different classes. This is the hierarchy. We have the kingdom, we have the phylum, then comes the class, then comes the order. It is like that. So obviously in Phylum Porifera, there will be the different classes. So how do we differentiate? Which character do we consider to put organism in different classes? We are going to see their skeletal system. We are going to see the type of spicule there. Okay, type of spicule there. Are you getting it? Yes, are you getting it? And meanwhile, here in mesohyle, there are some other cells also. Like here at the base of these choanocytes, you will find some amoebocytes. Okay, some amoebocytes, and moreover here, right, some archaeocytes are there. They have the potential to form any type of cells. They can even form the gametes. Okay, they can even form the gametes. Okay, so one thing is clear, that sponges, they can go for the sexual reproduction, but they are hermaphrodite. Okay, what are they? They are hermaphrodite. Let me explain this again, but I always explain it, right? Like from BMW, you have to make BMH. From BMW, what you have to make? You have to make BMH. So B stands for bisexual, B stands for bisexual, M stands for monoecious, right, bache? And H stands here for hermaphrodite. So which organism is a hermaphrodite organism? The organism having the single body, which is having male and female part. So here you people can see, right, archaeocytes are present, which will form the gametes. They can form the ova, they can form the sperm, like this. Clear? Is that clear? So the most important point here is this layer, choanoderm, made up of choanocytes, which are the flagellated cells. Now, flagella is there. Obviously, flagella is going to beat, yes or no? Flagella is there and flagella is going to beat, of course. Now, if you look at the structure is very simple. There is no proper mouth. There is no proper, tissue. There is not even a tissue here. So obviously, something should be there by which they can eat. Okay, by which they can eat. So here in the case of poriferan, that is what you people are going to observe. That is what you people are going to see, that these choanocytes, they will line this cavity, right? So when water will enter, they will beat these cells. They will maintain the water current here. Okay, they are going to maintain the water current here. Like if this is the diagram, so obviously here you have the cavity. Okay, so the flagella will beat, it will maintain the water current. Okay, so Samiha, this cavity is present in a sponge body. So can we call it as spongocele? Yes, can we call it as spongocele? It is a cavity which is present in between, within the body of the sponge. So obviously we can call it as spongocele. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is that clear? Yes. So this particular cell, the beating of flagella is maintaining water current, and with the help of this water, small food particles are also entering here in the sponge body. So these cells will also help in the digestion of that food. Okay. So in the case of sponges, remember the digestion is going to be intracellular. What type of digestion will be there, bache? Intracellular digestion will be there. Okay. Intracellular digestion will be there. The digestion will be there within a cell. Fine. So choanocytes at their base, they have these amoebocytes. They will also take the nourishment and will distribute here in mesohyl. So that's how it works, right? So in individual cell, right, what is going to happen? There will be the digestion of food. So that's the point here. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now, what is the next point? Next point is, in the case of poriferan, you will see a very unique type of water distribution system. Right? What will you see? A kind of unique water distribution system. So in the case of poriferan, you will see water canal system. What will be there? There will be the water canal system. Right? So this water canal system can be of different types. Right? Sometimes simple, like from ostia, from that minute pore, water is coming in. Then water will go into the spongiocele. You know that how? By the beating of your choanocyte, by the beating of flagella of the choanocyte, and from the osculum it will come out. This is the flow of water. Okay, so water will enter from ostia, then in spongiocele, the choanocyte, the beating of that flagella will maintain the water current, and from the osculum water will come out. So in this process, bache, what is going to happen? The food will enter. Right, the food will enter from this water canal system. This is water canal system, not the water vascular system. Water vascular system is in echinoderms. Poriferans are having water canal system. Poriferans are having water canal system. So see, this is the simplest type of water canal system. Clear, bache? This is the simplest type of water canal system. Is that clear? Yes, bache, is that clear? Sure? Yes, are you sure? Okay, so it can be complex as well. So right now, I am saying it is a very simple type of, right, it's a very simple type of water canal system, but you can say that here different grades are there. It can be ESCON type, SciCon type, but that is not the part of our syllabus, so we are not going to discuss that in detail. So in simple words, if I have to show you that diagram, remember, outer will be the pinacoderm, innermost is the choanoderm, right? This pinacoderm is in between having some pores also. Fine. Like this. Clear, bache? Like this. Okay. So in between, what do we have? Here we have the mesohyl. So water is coming. They are maintaining it. From spongiocele, it will go up. So in this process, the respiration, like this water, this water canal system is helping in everything, in the excretion of the waste, in the ingestion as well, in the excretion of the waste as well, in the distribution of the oxygen as well. Okay, and the distribution of the oxygen as well. So that is how it is present. So there can be the different degree of this water canal system. Sometimes it is direct, it is simple like this, and sometimes it can be, coiled, right? So it can be in that form also. It depends from organism to organism. Clear, bache? Right? So what do they have? They have the water canal system. What do they have? They have the water canal system. And bache, see this. See, this is a wonderful diagram. So the pathway of transport is very helpful in food gathering, in respiratory exchange, and the removal of waste. So as I said, here in mesohyl, you will find different type of cells, right? Archaeocytes are there, tracheocytes are there, which will nourish the growing, cells, right? And here we will be germ cells. Germ cell producing cell will also be there. Spicules are present, which will provide it a shape, right? Some scleroblast, right? Some colonocytes. So different type of cells are there in this meso. That is what you need to remember. Okay, bache? So spicule is a very important point here. Okay. Spicule is a very important point here. Done. So for transfer of sperm, this water canal system help. For removal of waste, water canal system help. For respiratory exchange and food gathering also, water canal system is going to play the role. Clear, bache? Is that clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? So three types of, see, two types of spicules are there. Calcareous, made up of calcium, of course, and siliceous, made up of silica. Right? And along with it, some spongin fibers are also there. Right? So these three things, on the basis of these, basically on the basis of these spicules, on the basis of this internal endoskeleton, we divide the poriferans into different classes. Clear, bache? We divide the poriferan into different classes. So this is all about the phylum Porifera, right, bache? All the points are written here. You need to focus on the diagrams mainly. So here you can see digestion is intracellular, right? Body supported by skeleton, that is spicules or spongin fibers. Sexes are not separate, means the body is hermaphrodite. So eggs and sperms are produced by the same individual. Water canal system also help in the transport of that sperms, right? They also reproduce asexually by fragmentation and sexually by gametes. And let me tell you one thing, bache. In the cases of sponges, you will also see some, internal buds, right? Right, you will see internal budding as well, internal buds. Okay, we used to call it as gemmules. Gemmules, this is important. Like the diagram is given in your class 12th NCERT. Some structure like this is present, small, these. So basically in unfavorable condition, these gemmules used to form. So it is also meant for the reproduction. Okay, it is also meant for the reproduction. So these are the internal buds. Okay, these are the internal buds in the case of poriferans. Fine. So fertilization is internal and development is indirect. So bache, what is the meaning of indirect development? Anyone? What is the meaning of indirect development? When do we say that development is indirect? See, in direct development, what is going to happen? Zygote will directly form adult. Fine. Zygote is directly going to form the adult, like in our case. But in indirect development, what will happen, bache? There will be the larval stages in between. Okay. There are larval stages in between. Are you getting it? Larval stages are present in between. Okay. So this is about the phylum Porifera. Right? So diagrams are very important. Examples are very important. So here you people can see this is the cycon having the radial symmetry, right? Having the radial symmetry. This is Euspongia, right? It is the bath sponge, and this one is Spongilla, freshwater sponge. So the trick here is for all your sites. Okay, you can use this trick as well. Fine, you can use this trick as well. Done, bache? Okay, so this is about the porifera, and see the choanocytes, right? Choanocytes which are playing role in the digestion of food, intracellular digestion. So phagocytosis of food particles will be there, and at the base you will see amoebocyte. Clear? At the base you will see amoebocytes. Okay, done. See, sponges in real life. And there is one sponge which is it is a sponge. In Japan, people used to gift it on the weddings. Okay, that is having some some value is there. That sponge is having some value. It is considered as the good luck sign, something like that. I don't remember the name right now. Okay, so here you guys can see the examples. Examples are literally important. Please revise it. Okay, don't miss the examples. And trust me, the only way out is that you have to revise it daily. Sometimes even we forgot the examples. You can ask from any teacher. Sometimes even they forgot the example. So the only way out is revision. Okay, you have to revise it again and again. You have to revise it again and again. Fine, bache. So the next phylum is, tell me quickly, tell me the name of the next phylum. And see, NCERT also. So in the NCERT, Spongiocele is given. We have discussed it. Osculum, Choanocytes, right, bache? Spicules, Spongin, Hermaphrodite, everything we have covered. So just revise it, okay? Just revise it here from the NCERT. So quickly type the examples of Porifera in the chat section right now. Be quick. Type the example of Poriferans in the chat section right now. Quick. Quick. Done? Very good, very good, very good. So see, these are the diagrams. So the next phylum that we need to study is, yes, you are right, we need to talk about the Phylum Cnidaria. What we need to discuss, bache? The next is Phylum Cnidaria. It is also known as Phylum Ctenophora. Okay, it is also known as Phylum Ctenophora. Let me tell you one story. Bache, initially na this Ctenophora and Ctenophores, they all were placed together. Okay, under this Phylum Cnidaria. Basically, the organisms of Phylum Ctenophora and the organisms of this particular Phylum Cnidaria, they all were placed together. But later on, you know, they studied them. Okay, so they studied them and they realized that no, they are not the same organism. So then they made the different phylum, that is Phylum Ctenophora. So initially, only one phylum was there, Cnidaria, in which these coelentrates and ctenophores, they were placed. But now we have the different phylums. Okay, so now I will firstly, see, no doubt we will revise the things from the NCERT, but whatever extra points are there, firstly, I will tell you that. Okay, extra and the important points. So when you talk about the Cnidarians, the coelentrate, you know that the very first thing that we all know is tissue level of organization. What is it? It is the tissue level of organization. Done, bache? When it comes to the symmetry, you know that they are radially symmetrical. Right, symmetry is what? Symmetry is radial. And then the third point that we have is tissue level, radial symmetry, tissue level, radial symmetry, and they are diploblastic. Right, they are diploblastic. So, unique cell which is present there in coelentrate is your, yes, cnidoblast. Right, it is your cnidoblast, also known as nematoblast, also known as cnidocyte. This is important. Okay, cnidocyte. So I'm telling you the peculiar feature right now. So tissue level, radial symmetry, diploblastic, already discussed. Right, done and dusted. So obviously it is, okay, let me mention it here. They are acoelomates as well. Fine, they are acoelomates as well. So unique cell is the cnidoblast. It is nematoblast, cnidocyte. We will discuss about it. And one more thing is there in the Phylum Cnidaria. Bache, you will see alternation of generation. What will we see? We will see alternation of generation. And what is the meaning of alternation of generation? For this, we also use the word metagenesis. Do you know that? For alternation of generation, we also use the word metagenesis. So here, in the Phylum Cnidaria, you will see that in the life cycle, right, in the life cycle, sexual stages and asexual stages, they will alternate. What will happen here in this particular phylum? The sexual stages and asexual stages, they will alternate. Like in the case of plants also, in the plant kingdom, this is what we have discussed, the alternation of generation. So alternation of generation means, in the case of plants, we were saying na, haploid phase, diploid phase, haploid phase, diploid phase. So here, what will you see? You will see, yes, bache, the sexual stages, asexual stages, sexual stages, asexual stages. Is that clear? Is that clear? So tissue level of organization, radial symmetry, diploblastic, acoelomate, unique cell. Right, when you talk about the unique cell, right, so cnidoblast, nematoblast, cnidocyte is there, right, bache, alternation of generation, It is metagenesis, in which sexual and asexual stages, they will alternate. Okay, they will alternate. Clear? Clear? And what else you people are going to study here in alternation of generation? Let me tell you. So there will be two forms. Okay, there will be two forms. One will be polyp. Another one is medusa. One is polyp. Another is medusa. I'm repeating it again. One is polyp. Another is medusa. P for polyp, P for plant. So plants, what are they? They are sessile. They are sessile. Sessile means fixed to the substratum. Yes or no? Yes or no, bache? This is how I remember this. P for polyp, P for plant. Plants are fixed. They are fixed to the substratum. They are sessile. Right? They are fixed to the substratum. They are sessile. Another word is medusa. M. It is mobile. It is motile. Right? This is the movable form. Okay? It is a movable form. So, in the members of phylum Cnidaria, you will see that some organisms in their life cycle, polyp and medusa, both the forms are present. Right? Both the forms are present. And in some organism, only polyp is there. In some organism, only medusa is there. Right? So, on the basis of this character, we put it in different classes. Okay? We put it in different classes. Like if I talk about the hydra, do you remember hydra, the structure of hydra? Hydra, which is a freshwater cnidarian, which is a freshwater cnidarian, right? So that is having the plant-like form, polyp only. Okay, that is having the plant-like form, polyp only. Jellyfish, remember jellyfish. That is medusa. That is the movable form. That is medusa. Clear, bache? Now, the example of Obelia. Obelia is having both polyp form as well, medusa as well. Okay, polyp form as well, medusa as well. So, these are the important and the peculiar feature of this phylum Cnidaria. And moreover, bache, corals. Corals having highest productivity. Right? Corals also belong to this particular phylum. That is your Cnidaria. There are different types of, there are different types of your, corals, right? Marine corals are there. So it depends. Okay. So now let's talk about the cell, this unique cell. Okay. Let's talk about this unique cell, that is your cnidoblast. Okay. What is it? Your cnidoblast. Now, bache, in the body of these cnidarians, obviously they also need a structure which can protect them. They also need something which can help them for capturing the food, isn't it? Isn't it? They are aquatic organisms basically. What are they? They are aquatic organisms. They will live in the water. So of course they will need to eat something from the surrounding. So they should have some cells. They should have some structures by which they can capture their food. First point. Secondly, obviously for the protection as well, for the defense as well. So nature has given them what? These cells, which are known as cnidoblast or cnidocyte or nematoblast. Now, here in this cell, if you focus, right, this part, right, it is having a thread-like structure, isn't it? It is having a thread-like structure. So this part is basically the nematocyst or cnidocyst. Okay, this internal part is cnidocyst. See, the cell is cnidoblast, the internal part is cnidocyst. The cell is cnidoblast, right? And the internal part is cnidocyst and the nematocyst. Okay, so whenever, exactly, very good, Samiha. They are also known as stinging cells. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, they are also known as stinging cells. So what is going to happen, bache? Let's say it is present on the tentacles of that cnidarian. Okay, so whenever any prey come closer or they want to protect themselves, they will discharge this thread-like structure, right? So this diagram is of an undischarged right? It is the diagram of an undischarged nidoblast. Fine, it is the diagram of an undischarged nidoblast. So when it is discharged, so it will look like this, you know, this thread-like part will come out. Are you getting it? This thread-like part will come out. So this is a discharged nidoblast. So they can use it once. So it is meant for the capturing the prey. It is meant for the protection. Done? So this is a very unique character here. It's a very unique character here. Just look at this diagram. So this is the diagram of an discharged stinging cell. Okay. So it is having that poison. Fine, bache, it is having that poison. So let's revise the points very quickly. So you can see they are sessile or free swimming, right? They are sessile or free swimming. So for sessile form, we use the word polyp. For free swimming form, we use the word medusa. Clear, bache? They are aquatic. Mostly they are marine. Okay, symmetry is radial. Tissue level of organization, diploblastic. All done? Yes, bacho. All done? Clear? So, nidoblasts contain the stinging capsule, which is nematocyst on the tentacles and the body. Clear, bache? So, name Cnidaria is derived from the word stinging cell in the body wall. Clear? Done? So, see the different examples here. So, this is Adamsia. Remember, this is Adamsia, also known as sea anemone. Right? Sea anemone. This is your Aurelia, that is the jellyfish. Okay, so see this structure, see, that is how you need to remember. When you talk about the polyp, the structure is like this. Okay, the structure is like this. Tentacles up, mouth part is present here. See, mouth part is present here. These are the tentacles. This is the polyp. Now, when it is inverted like this, okay, when it is inverted like this, so what is it? It is umbrella-like, isn't it? This structure is umbrella-like, isn't it? Umbrella-like, isn't it? So, it is the medusa. So, now just imagine here. Now, when it is in the polyp form, right, mouth is present here. So, obviously, when it will become inverted, mouth will come down. This part here will be the mouth, isn't it? This part here will be the mouth. So, that is the example that you need to keep in your head. Clear, bache? Right? So, now let's see. See this? This is Hydra freshwater polyp. Right? So, this is Hydra. It is what? It's a freshwater polyp. Clear? It's a freshwater polyp. So, here in this Hydra, bache, see this structure. Here you have the mouth. Right? So, this structure above here it is hypostome, below mouth, hypostome. And now in the surrounding you have the tentacles. Now when you look at the body, right, see, just look at the body cavity here. This cavity, in the case of poriferans, we were using the word spongiocele, right? In the case of poriferan, guys, is it lagging? I think there is no lag. From my side, I think there is no lag. Is it lagging? Nope, right? So here, what will you have? This cavity is also known as gastrovascular cavity, or it is also known as paragastric cavity. Do you know why? Do you know why? Like in the case of sponges, one thing was very clear, right? One thing, Suhasini, one thing was very clear in the case of poriferans, that they are having, see, you note down the main points. I will share the PDF with you. So you note down the main points, and if your guys are making the notes now, then please put the lines and see, write down Phylum Porifera, then Cnidaria, then Ctenophora, like this. So you can even compare. In Phylum Porifera, the digestion was intracellular. The digestion was there only in the cell itself. Within the cell, digestion was there. But when you talk about the Cnidarians here, so you will see the digestion, it can be intracellular also and extracellular also. It is intracellular also, it is extracellular also. It means that within the cell, digestion is there. No doubt here, within the cell, digestion is there, but even in this cavity, you will see the food will get digested. Okay, the food will get digested. So that is why we are using the word intracellular as well as extracellular, right? So see the outer layer, outer epitheliomuscular layer. In between these cnidocytes are present in outer layer. Some interstitial cells are there. So in between these two innermost layer is your this, some nutritive muscular cells are present, some gland cells are also present, and in between there will be the mesoglia. Okay, and see here, undischarged nematocyst, discharged nematocyst. So any doubt? Yes, bache, any doubt? Tell me, any doubt? Yes? So bache, this point is very important. You know, Phylum Cnidaria is the first phylum in which we will see primitive, right? In which we will see primitive type of nervous system, right? I'm not saying that proper type of nervous system like we have, proper brain and all, it is present. No, no, but in between you will see some diffused neurons. Okay, some diffused nerve cells. Network of some diffused nerve cell is present in the case of your hydra, in the case of your Cnidaria. See this. So outermost layer is epitheliomuscular layer, right? Right. It is having some muscle fibers, and here if you can focus, some sensory cells are also there, right? Some sensory cells are also there. So the cavity here is also known as, also known as paragastric cavity or gastrovascular cavity, and the layer which is covering this cavity is gastrodermis. So you remember in the case of poriferans we were saying this layer is choanoderm. Here it is gastrodermis. Okay, here it is gastrodermis. So see this nerve net, important character. Note down, this character is important. Okay, this character is important. Done, bache? Yes, is that clear? So mouth, hypostome, tentacles, then this body, this is the base. So hydra is a freshwater polyp, right? Hydra is a freshwater polyp. So bache, have you ever seen a jellyfish? Have you ever seen a jellyfish? Ever? Jellyfish, jelly. It's jelly like, because in the case of jellyfish, this middle layer, mesoglia is too much. Its quantity is more, right? Mesoglia, its quantity is more. It is too much. In the case of what? In the case of your Cnidaria. Okay, in the case of your Cnidaria. Is that clear, bacho? Yes. So you can revise the points from this slide also. So cnidoblasts are used for the anchorage, defense, and for the capturing of prey. Polyp, attached form. Medusa, free floating form, where mouth is down, and in the polyp, mouth is up. Remember, mouth up, mouth down. Mouth up, mouth down. Okay. Okay, so it is having a central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening, mouth on hypostome. Digestion is extra and intracellular both, right? Corals are also there here. So you will see their skeleton is made up of calcium carbonate, right? Their skeleton is made up of calcium carbonate. Okay, and these corals, they are highly productive. Corals, they form the highly productive ecosystem. Okay, they form the highly productive ecosystem. So they have two basic forms, polyp and medusa. So sessile examples are given here, bache, and medusa is the umbrella, like your Aurelia is given. Clear, bache? Done? So yes, there is one more trick for all of you. So the trick is PAM, right? I said na, there is the alternation of generation. There is the alternation of generation. So here the trick is PAM. P stands for polyp, you know that. M stands for medusa. So the trick is polyp asexually form medusa. That is what you need to remember, right? That this polyp asexually it will form medusa, right? So this medusa will form gametes and all. This is what you need to remember. Okay, this is what you need to remember. So polyp asexually form medusa. Polyp asexually form medusa, right? So the trick is PAM. Don't make it map, otherwise it will be a mistake. So polyp is asexually forming a medusa. So this question can be asked in paper. Okay, so polyp is asexually forming medusa. Okay, asexually forming medusa. In the case of obelia, you will see this. Okay, in the case of obelia, you will see this. Both the forms are present. So there are different examples, bache, and all the examples are important. Look at this structure. So this transparent part is basically that mesoglia, that middle layer in between. Okay, that middle layer in between. So just look at this. Portuguese man of war, Physalia. Right? So here it is having the cluster of polyps. Venomous tentacles are there. Right? So it is the Portuguese man of war, Physalia. So sometimes, you know, they used to give you the examples. They can ask you the common names. They can even ask you the scientific names. They can even ask you that they belong to which phylum. Right? So this is what you need to focus. So Physalia, Portuguese man of war. And why do we call it as Portuguese man of war? Because it is believed that Portuguese, they don't confront their enemies, right? They always attack from back. So same is the case of this Physalia. That is why. Okay, so see the examples here: Physalia, Obelia, Meandrina, which is the brain coral, Adamsia, that is your sea anemone, Aurelia, jellyfish, Gorgonia, Cnidaria, Pennatula, and Hydra. But do you know this Gorgonia and Pennatula? Pennatula is known as your sea pen. Pennatula is basically your sea pen. What is it? It is your sea pen. Okay. And this Gorgonia is sea fan. It is also known as sea fan, Gorgonia. Okay. So examples are important. You people can see the trick, but that is my advice. Start revising it. Bache, you don't need tricks. Right? Literally, you don't need tricks. You just need to revise it. Fine. You just need to revise it. Clear? Sure, bache? So metagenesis is present. Okay, metagenesis is present. So sea pen is your Pennatula, sea fan is your Gorgonia. Physalia is Portuguese man of war. Fine. Done, bache? Sure. So, bache, here you will see 3 classes. Not important, right? Although not important, but still your Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa and Anthozoa, right? Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa and Anthozoa. So the classes here, they are dependent on the presence of polyp form or medusa form, or you can say that polyp and medusa both. Okay, polyp and medusa both. So that is what you need to remember in the case of phylum Cnidaria. So here you people can see, right, bache? So we cannot say that this phylum is of exclusively marine organisms. Some are fresh, some forms are in fresh water also, some are in marine water also, right? Right, bache? Haan, classes here, right? Jaise, let's take the example of your class Scyphozoa, right? Let's take the example of your class Anthozoa. I told you that there are 3 classes: Scyphozoa, Anthozoa, Hydrozoa. So Scyphozoa and Anthozoa, they are exclusively marine, right? But overall, if you talk about the phylum, this is not exclusively marine. Organisms can be in fresh water also, they can be in marine form. They are marine also. Clear, bache? Right? Done. So any other doubt here? See, all the points we have covered. Digestion is extracellular and intra. Some of the cnidarians, they are having calcium carbonate, skeleton made up of calcium carbonate, right? So polyp and medusa forms are there. Okay, so done. That's all. That's it. Fine. So the diagrams, as I said, they are important. Next is Ctenophora. Next is your phylum Ctenophora. Which one is the next phylum? It is the Ctenophora. Now in the Ctenophora also, bache, you know the important points, isn't it? Tissue level of organization will be there. Right? What will you see here in the case of Ctenophora? You will see tissue level of organization. You will see diploblastic organisms. Right? You will see radial symmetry. What will you see here? Radial symmetry. And of course, they are acoelomates. Fine, they are acoelomates. But bache, here, the one more thing that you will notice here is the cell. They are coloblast cell. Right? It is not given in NCERT, but this is important. Which cells are present here? Coloblast cells. They are also known as lasso cells. Lasso cells. Okay, they are adhesive in nature. They help in attachment. Fine, they help in attachment. Okay, they help in attachment. I just told you about the fertilization, na? Asexual, sexual, both is there. Now, if you're talking about the external or internal, according to you, what should be there in the case of this? Phylum Coelenterata. Tell me, Mr. Well-wisher. Hanji, tell me. Use your brain. Try to apply it if you have. Priya Bache, I will make the separate video on examples, but ultimately you have to revise the examples. Okay, even if I'll make the separate video, it is not going to help you out. Ultimately, you have to pick up the notes, you have to pick up your book, and you have to revise it again and again. Take it as a challenge. Okay, take it as a challenge that today I will remember all the examples of your phylum, first 3 phylums, right? And then next 3 phylums. And third day, revise all the examples all together, right? Do this again and again, just do it. Fine. So, tissue level, diploblastic acoelomate radial symmetry. So, coloblast, lussocells and adhesive cells, it is the important feature here. Okay, it is the important feature here. And bache, yes, you are right. In the Ctenophora, in the members of Ctenophora, you will see bioluminescence, right? Means these organisms, they emit light, right? They have luciferin protein. So what do? They emit light, right? So the organism that emit light, we used to call them as bioluminescent. Okay, bioluminescent. So in the members of phylum Ctenophora, this is what we are going to observe. And now the important points. See, they are commonly known as sea walnuts and the comb jellies. I'll tell you why. What do we call it? We call them as sea walnuts and the comb jelly. Actually, bache, when you talk about the members of phylum Ctenophora, so on their body, you will see some ciliated plates, right? Some 8 comb plates basically. Some 8 comb plates basically. Like see here, this type of. So some ciliated plates are there, right? Some ciliated plates are there like this. So no doubt in some members, you will see tentacles also. Focus on this point, huh? In some members, no doubt you people are going to see the tentacles. But remember this point. In the case of phylum Ctenophora, members of phylum Ctenophora, they do not use the tentacles for the locomotion. Okay, they do not use the tentacle for the locomotion. In their case, see, with the help of these ciliated plates, I told you 8 comb plates are there. Why? Because on their body, you will see these 8 plate-like structure. These 8 plate-like structure will be having the cilia, right? It will be having the cilia. Are you getting it? What will they have? They'll be having the cilia. Okay, so they will use this cilia for the locomotion. These are the ciliated plates. It looks like a comb. Okay, so they use the cilia for the locomotion. Remember, we discussed about the cilia in the case of kingdom Protista. Right? In the kingdom Protista, we say that some members, they use cilia for locomotion. It's a kind of primitive feature. But again, we notice it in the case of phylum Ctenophora, in the members of phylum Ctenophora. So no doubt they have the tentacles. No doubt they have the tentacles, but they are not going to use the tentacles for the locomotion. They will use these ciliated plates. So that is why when we classify the members of phylum Ctenophora in different classes, we see, do they have tentacles or tentacles are absent, right? This character is considered. Fine, bache? Fine. So here in the members of phylum Ctenophora, you will see the complete digestive system. Yes, here you will even see the complete digestive system in some members, right? There will be a mouth, there will be the anus, and the another important point is, bache, right, that this particular phylum is exclusively marine. All the organisms will be there in the marine water. Okay, all the organisms will be there in the marine water. Basically, in animal kingdom, we will discuss 3 phylums having, right? We are going to discuss 3 phylums. I'm not talking about the subphylums. There are 3 phylums in the animal kingdom where you will see exclusively marine organisms. One is your Phylum Phylum Ctenophora. Then comes Phylum Echinodermata. Then comes Phylum Hemichordata. Fine. Then comes Phylum Hemichordata. So these Okay, three phylum. The member of these three phylums, they are exclusively marine. They are exclusively marine. Clear, bache? Clear? All the organisms are in the marine water. There are subphylums of subphylums of phylum Chordata also, but we need to focus here. Okay, this is important. So these three phylums, they are exclusively marine. Clear, bache? So radially symmetrical, diploblastic, tissue level of organization, done. So these special cells, they are present on the tentacles. Okay, these special cells, they are present on the tentacles, these coloblast cells. Fine, coloblast cells, also known as lesso cells, right? So they will help in the attachment. How will they help, bache? They will help in the attachment. Clear? Clear? How will they help? They will help in the attachment. Done, bache? Yes? Yes or no? Is it clear? Okay, so bioluminescence property is there. है ना? Bioluminescence property is there. The living organisms, they will emit the light, right? So coloblast, lesso cells, adhesive cells are present. So they are meant for attachment. They are meant for attachment. The movement, the locomotion will be there with the help of this ciliated plates. Right? And here in this particular phylum, bache, you will even see a balancing organ, that is stetocyst. Stetocyst, which is considered as a balancing organ. So opposite to mouth, it is present, the stetocyst, right? Opposite to mouth, it is present. It is also a very important feature of this particular phylum. Clear, bache? Right? It is also a very important feature of this particular phylum. Clear? So exclusively marine, transparent jelly-like organism, 8 ciliary completes, right, bache? Fine. Okay. Sure? Sure. And yes, one more important point. And yes, coloblast cell will help in attachment, plus it will also help in capturing the prey. Yes, they don't have any other structure. It also helps in capturing the prey. Done. Okay, so sexes basically, they are not separate. So what does it mean? Digestion is both extra intra done. What does it mean? That they are hermaphrodite. They are hermaphrodite. So reproduction is only bisexual. Mean this is another important character. There is no asexual reproduction here in this Phylum Ctenophora, right? No asexual reproduction is there. So asexual reproduction we will only see in the case of your Phylum Porifera or even in the Phylum Cnidaria, but here you will not see the asexual reproduction, only sexual reproduction will be there. Fertilization is external, it is indirect. Okay, it is external, it is indirect. So you can see jelly-like clear body is present. Fine, jelly-like clear body is present in their case. Fine, bache? Done? So see, Ctenoplana, pleurobrachia, also known as sea walnut, structure look like that, na? That is why. Or comb jellies, or we used to call them as comb jelly, Phylum Ctenophora. Right, this is the Phylum Ctenophora. Okay, so here you people can see sea walnuts or comb jellies, exclusively marine, radially symmetrical, diploblastic, tissue level of organization, 8 external rows of ciliated completes, right? So bioluminescence is there, reproduction will be there only by sexual means. Fine, only by sexual means. So everything written in slides, it is as per NCERT with wonderful diagrams. So chalo bache, quickly answer few questions, then we will start the Phylum Platyhelminthes. Okay, answer few questions and then what will we do? We will start the next phylum, that is your Platyhelminthes. Okay, that is your Platyhelminthes. What should be the answer? What should be the answer? In case of poriferan, the spongiocele is lined with flagellated cells. That flagellated cells are, it's very simple. Of course, choanocytes, also known as collar cells. Choanocytes, also known as collar cells. Next, body having meshwork of cells, internal cavities lined with the food filtering flagellated cells, and indirect development. Yes, these characters are present in. Yes, bachcho, these characters are present in. Tell me, these characters are present in. Body having meshwork of cells, internal cavities lined with food filtering. Yes. So the correct answer here is porifera. Right? Poriferans again. So see, you should judge it from this particular line. Flagellated cells. Okay. Choanocytes. Next question. Pick the most suitable terminology to designate life cycle of Obelia. Pick up the most suitable terminology to designate the life cycle of Obelia. Obelia, yes. The life cycle of Obelia. It's metagenesis, also known as alternation of generation. So in the case of Obelia, what will you see, bache? You will see that both the forms, polyp and medusa, they are present. Done. Next question. Phylum Ctenophora. Fertilization is dash with dash development. Fertilization is dash with dash development. And Phylum Ctenophora, fertilization is dash with that dash development. Quick. Yes. Fertilization is, of course, external with indirect development. But I find these type of questions very difficult because in animal kingdom, many times we forgot where do we have the external fertilization and internal, and we make the mistakes. So I don't like such type of question. So I'll give you another trick here. Right, you just write down the name of all the phylums. That's your homework, right? And you have to mention it in the comment section. Right, write down the name of all the phylums. All the phylums having external fertilization, that's all. This is what you need to do. Write down the name of all the phylums. Even you can consider the classes, right, where external fertilization is there. It's your choice. You want to go for the external or for the internal. Accordingly, right, you'll be able to answer these type of questions easily. Next question. Oh, next phylum, that is Platyhelminthes. Okay, Phylum Platyhelminthes. Here we will see flat worms. Okay, we will see flat worms. Again, the points are same. Right, again here the points are same. Phylum Platyhelminthes. Okay, Phylum Platyhelminthes. So they are flat worms. What are they? They are flat worms, right? They are flat worms. So in the Platyhelminthes, what will you see? See, these characters are simple. They are same characters. Like organ level of organization will be there. Organ level of organization will be there. And this is the first phylum of animal kingdom in which you will see triploblastic organisms. Isn't it? This is the first phylum of animal kingdom where you will see triploblastic organism plus having bilateral symmetry. है ना? Plus having bilateral symmetry. But they are what? They are acoelomates. They do not have the coelom. But some members, they will also show pseudo-metamerism. They will also show pseudo-metamerism, that is false segmentation. Example is tapeworm, remember? Example is tapeworm. Okay, so we are using the word platyhelminthes, flatworms. They are having a flat body. What do they have? They are having flat body, right? Dorso-ventrally flat, just like a leaf. Okay, why are we calling them as flatworms? Because they are dorso-ventrally flat. There is dorso-ventrally flattened body. That is why we used to call them as flatworms. Their body looks like a leaf-like structure. Like we have the example of liver fluke. Leaf-like body. Okay, leaf-like body. Even other example is this liver. One is liver fluke. Right. We have the example of planaria. Planaria, also known as Degazia. Right, having great power of regeneration. So there are different examples. So now in the case of Phylum Platyhelminthes, we divide the organisms on the basis of their parasitic nature, right? That whether they are free living, they are parasitic. Okay, whether they are free living or they are parasitic, that is how we divide them. Okay, that is how we divide them. But these are the general character, basic characters. Now, in the case of platyhelminthes, you will find a special cell, of course, the peculiar feature, not the peculiar feature, flame cells are in other phylums also. Flame cells. What will you find here? Flame cells. Flame cells, also known as solenocytes, also known as protonephridia. It is not nephridia. They are protonephridia. They are protonephridia. So protonephridia, solenocytes and flame cells. Protonephridia, solenocytes and flame cells. That is what we have. Okay, that is what we have. And these cells, they play role in the excretion and the osmoregulation. Okay, they used to play role in the excretion and the osmoregulation. Excretory roles and in maintaining salt and water balance. Okay, platyhelminthes. So what do we have here? Organ level of organization. Okay, so see this. Wait, I have added one diagram. See this. This is basically na bache. This is planaria. Planaria is the example of the flatworms, and it is a free living. It's a free living platyhelminthes. And bache, it is having great power of regeneration. This body can regrow after injury. Great power of regeneration. So with the help of this diagram, you guys can note down many characters. You people can see many characters here. So first of all, these are the eye spots. These are not the proper eyes. These are just the eye spots. So if you will see here, see, excretory canals are there. You will see the flame cells here. Flame cells. Why do we call them as flame cells? Because of their appearance. They look like, flames. See, something like this. The structure is like this. Okay. Flame cells. And see ladder-like. Can you see this ladder-like nervous system here? See, bache, with the help of diagrams, trust me, we can remember many characters. Many characters. Okay. So see this ladder-like. Ladder-like means these are the longitudinal nerves, nerve codes are there, transverse nerve codes are there. So it is giving it a ladder-like appearance. Right, bache? Right. So blind sac body plan is there. Have a look. Blind sac body plan is there. Right. It means there is the common opening for the ingestion and the egestion. One common opening for the ingestion and egestion is there. Okay. Can you see this, bache? Right. So this is the that is your Platyhelminthes. So obviously, as I said, most forms are parasitic. So, and they are even the endoparasite. So endoparasites are having some, adaptations. If they need to live within the human body or within any organism, so they need some adaptation. So in that case, they will have hooks, right? They will have suckers. So with the help of that hooks, they will get fixed to the host cell, right? Even if they are living in this digestive system, and with the help of suckers, they will, even they will get attached, and obviously some nutrition will come in. Okay, so if they are the parasitic form, so obviously in their case, the digestive system will not be developed. It is not required even, because they can directly take nourishment from the host body. So see, dorsoventrally flattened, right? Mostly endoparasite found in animal, including human beings, right, bache? Bilateral symmetry is there. Okay, bilateral symmetry is there. Clear, bache? Done? Yes or no? Yes or no? Fine. So when you see, so triploblastic acoelomate, organ level, hooks and sucker, done with it. Now nutrients from the host directly through their body surface. So with the help of suckers also, they can take the nutrition. They can do the ingestion with the help of body surface also. I told you about the flame cells. Again, sexes are not separated, right? Fertilization here is internal, right? Development is through larval stages, and planaria possesses high regeneration capacity. So it is as per the NCERT. Now some important points. So in the case of platyhelminthes, bache, we will see teguments. Do you know what is the meaning of teguments? Anyone in the class? What is the meaning of teguments? Anyone? Yes? Teguments. Do you know about teguments? Anyone? Teguments. Obviously the outer covering, outer thick covering it is. Okay, it is the outer thick covering. It's very thick covering. It is going to protect it, right? It protects from host secretions. Obviously, host immune system is also going to kill this particular endoparasite. So tegument is going to protect it, right? Bache, tegument is going to protect it, and they are acoelomates. What are they? They are acoelomates. Clear, bache? Right? Done? Tell me. This point is extra but important. Tegument. Okay, so the second point is, bache, parenchyma. See, in the case of this flatworm, in between the body wall and let's say this is the gut wall. Okay, so in between this body wall and gut wall, there will be a fluid-like connective tissue. Fine, what will be there? There will be the fluid-like connective tissue, and that tissue is basically your parenchyma. What is it? It is parenchyma. So this parenchyma helps in the, transport of things. Fine. And it also serves like a kind of hydraulic endoskeleton. A kind of watery endoskeleton. So that is why I'm using the word hydraulic endoskeleton, this parenchyma. Clear, bache? So it is nothing, it is just the fluidy connective tissue. So help in transportation of food materials. Fine, bache, it helps in transportation of food material. Okay. Okay, so fertilization is internal, indirect fertilization is there. Planaria is having the power of regeneration. Then, bache? Sure? Sure? Tell me. Okay, so I already told you about the examples, but again, once again, one is liver fluke. So liver fluke, it's fasciola. Just a minute. Fasciola hepatica. Hepatica, what is associated with liver? Right. And tapeworm. It is Tinea solium. What's that? It's Tinea solium. So it used to show the pseudo metamerism as well, false segmentation as well. Okay, what will we see here? The false segmentation. Okay, false segmentation. Liver fluke, fasciola hepatica. It's fasciola hepatica. Done, bache. So 3 examples are given. Planaria having great power of regeneration. It's free living. It is not parasitic. Taenia and fasciola, they both are parasitic. Okay, Taenia and fasciola, they both are parasitic. Done, bache. Yes. Is it clear? Yes or no? There is one more there is one exception here also. I'll tell you about that. So nervous system, ladder-like, right? Respired through body surface. Excretion is through flame cells, which also help in the osmoregulation. Okay. There is one example. One example. See, I told you that basically they are bisexual. This is what I just said. That basically they are what? They are bisexual. Right? Right? Actually, bache, in the phylum Aschelminthes, right? Next phylum is the phylum Aschelminthes. So this phylum, it is the organisms of this phylum, they are known as roundworms. Right, they have whenever we take the cross section of the organism of this particular phylum, so we will see some circular outline. We are going to obtain the circular outline. So Aschelminthes, roundworms. Aschelminthes, roundworms. So this is the first phylum where you will see the sexual dimorphism in the case of, right, sexual dimorphism in the case of animals. What is the meaning of sexual dimorphism? So here, sexually, there will be 2 different sexes. One is male, one is female. We can look at it and we can differentiate. We can look at it and we can differentiate, right? So see, the female is long, the male short, and the end is curved like this. Okay, so this is the first phylum where you will see that sexes are separate. So basically you will see unisexual organisms here, right? Unisexual organisms here. So the word for it is dioecious. Okay, it's dioecious, right? But one exception is there, I'll tell you. Killer signs. What is osmoregulation means? Maintenance of salt and water balance in the body, right? Right, maintaining salt and water balance in the body. That is what osmoregulation is. Okay, that is what osmoregulation is. Clear, bache? Okay, so now, as I said, Aschelminthes is the first phylum, but in the Platyhelminthes, okay, there is one organism, Schistosoma. Schistosoma is also known as blood fluke. This organism is quite interesting. It is also known as blood fluke. Basically, it lives in our blood. So it is unisexual. This is the example of your platyhelminth, right? But it is a unisexual worm, male and female, right? Male and female, they are in different body. Male and female, they are in different body. And let me tell you, in their case, the story is very interesting that female will wrap around the male's body. Schistosoma, its life cycle is quite interesting. Okay, its life cycle is quite interesting. So female will carry the, right? I don't remember that male carries the female or female carries the male, but something like that is there. So I think male carries the female in a canal. Okay, its life cycle is actually interesting. Okay, so this is an exception, schistosoma. Okay, so now answer this question and then we will start the phylum Aschelminthes. Answer this question. Quick. Yep, quick. Answer this question. All of you, please answer the question. So, Phylum Ctenophora, fertilization is okay. Okay, I got it, bache. No, the question written here is incorrect. The options written here are different. And a question and options, they don't resemble. But again, if you are selecting B, then again it is incorrect. Let's say if we have to figure out the correct option, right? Let's say if we need to figure out the correct option. So flatworms, bache, they are triploblastic and they are acoelomates. Why are you even answering the B? Why? Flatworms, they are triploblastic. Platyhelminthes, it is the first phylum of the animal kingdom in which organisms are triploblastic and they have bilateral symmetry. Right, in which organisms are triploblastic, and what do they have? They have bilateral symmetry. Are you getting it? They have bilateral symmetry. Okay. So the next phylum, Aschelminthes. So there are few characters obviously that we can answer on the basis of, right, if you know the basis of classification, then obviously then you can write down few characters. So phylum Aschelminthes, phylum Aschelminthes, also known as nematohelminthes. So they are basically round worms. I told you the reason. But they can be free living, right? Like not dependent on any host. They can be parasitic on plants as well, on animals as well, right? So they used to cause diseases to the plants also. Done. And to plants also. Clear, bache? Clear? So now rest all the things are same. That is organ level of organization, not organ system level of organization. Pseudocoelomates. Right? Organ system level of organization, pseudocoelomates. They are triploblastic. Fine. They are triploblastic. So now when the word is pseudocoelomate, pseudo mane false, they are false coelomate. Remember bache diagram, ectoderm, endoderm, and in between there will be the mesodermal pouches, right? In between there will be the mesodermal pouches. Remember, organ system level of organization, pseudocoelomate, and they are triploblastic, right? What are they? They are the Aschelminthes. So these are some basic characters. So they are parasitic also. Okay, they are parasitic also. Now if I talk about the body plan, so body plan in this case is what? So they have tube within tube body plan, right? Tube within tube body plan. In the case of Platyhelminthes, it's blind sac body plan, but here it will be tube within tube. So what is the meaning of tube within tube body plan? So we can say na that they have complete digestive system. There will be a separate mouth, separate anus will be there. So the digestive system is complete. Okay, the digestive system is complete. Okay, so if I talk about the unique characters here, bache, then you can say, first of all, this is the first phylum where you will see sexual dimorphism, right? Forget about the exception, but usually this is the first phylum. Secondly, bache, here in phylum Aschelminthes, the members, they have muscular pharynx. The pharynx is muscular here, right? And in Aschelminthes, you will see H-shaped rennet cells for excretion. Okay, H-shaped rennet cells for excretion. Done. So sexual dimorphism, muscular pharynx, H-shaped rennet cells for excretion. Like I said, na, in the, see, Phylum Porifera, choanocytes. Phylum Cnidaria, your nidoblast. Phylum Ctenophora, coloblast. Phylum Platyhelminthes, flame cells. Protonephridia, solenocytes. Phylum Aschelminthes, they have H-shaped rennet cells. Okay, they have H-shaped rennet cells. Clear, bache? H-shaped rennet cells. Yes or no? Yes or no? So now when you talk about the body wall, okay, when you talk about the body wall, so what will you get? So they have, now see, you will see some advanced character. Now when you will focus on the body wall here, so of course you will get outer covering epidermis. Before, first of all, there will be the cuticle. Okay, there will be the cuticle, which is outermost, which is non-living. Of course, it is thick and protect the host from, protect the organism from host enzyme. Done, bache? So what will we have? We'll be having the outer cuticle. So after that outer cuticle, epidermis will be there. Multinucleated, right? It is multinucleated, this epidermis. Okay, so it is the continuous layer. It will be a kind of, continuous layer, something like this. So it is syncytial, outermost covering. It is syncytial. Syncytial. So it is multinucleated. And then the innermost is your muscle layer. And here in the case of Aschelminthes, you will see only longitudinal muscles are present. Fine, bache. So this is about the body wall. Done. This is about the body wall. So digestive tract complete. Okay. Skeleton is again here also you will have the hydroskeleton. Okay. So can you see this? Here we have the pseudocoelom now. So hydroskeleton is present here. Here also you will see that fluidy connective tissue. So hydroskeleton is going to give the body a shape, a proper shape. Fine, bache, a proper shape. Done. So in their case also you will not see any true respiratory structure directly from the body wall. There will be the respiration. There will be the exchange of gases. Now, bache, this is the H-shaped rennet cell. I told you now, in the case of phylum Aschelminthes, this is what you will get. H-shaped rennet cells. Right? So see. So first of all, just have a look. So mid dorsal lip, lateral ventral lip is there, and here you have this H-shaped. Here you have this H-shaped rennet cells. Fine, see excretory pore, terminal duct, right anterior canal, nuclei. This network of canal is there, right, bache? So that is how it is present, right? And it is not just the H-shaped excretory cell. We have another things also. Done. Done, bache? Right? So in their case, you will also see phasmids. Right? Phasmids or your papillae. Some amphids. These are basically the kind of different receptors. Okay. They will sense the change in they will basically sense the changes, different type of changes, the chemical changes, the mechanical changes, right? That will be sensed by these receptors. So amphids, papillae and phasmids are there, right? Amphid, papillae and phasmids are there. Clear, bache? Okay, so they are chemoreceptors, and they are even the they can even sense that pressure also. Okay, so these are the receptor cells which are present. Receptor cells like this papillae and phasmids, they are chemoreceptors, right? They are amphids, they are chemoreceptors. Your papillae, they are chemoreceptors, right? Then these phasmids, they are tangoreceptors. This is how they are present. Done. Okay, so H-shaped rennet cells and other sense organs are there. And here in the case of bache phylum Aschelminthes, this is what you will observe. Like let's say if there is a in their case also you will see a brain, but that is not a proper brain like our brain. So obviously it is basically the ganglias. So what is the meaning of ganglia? When nerve cells, right? Ganglia means many nerve cells are composed together. Okay, many nerve cells are composed together, right? So nervous system is there, brain is there, nerve cord will be there, but that brain is having these, gangliated structures. Fine, these gangliated structures will be there in the case of brain. Done, bache? Okay. So see, alimentary canal is complete, excretory tube is there, sexes are separate. So fertilization is internal again, and development may be direct or indirect, right? So see, Ascaris. So Ascaris, you know, it is monogenetic. Do you know that? Ascaris is monogenetic. Do you know about it? Yes, bacho. Ascaris, it is monogenetic, means single host. Single host. And that single host is human. Fine. So Ascaris, single host is there. Monogenetic it is, right? Only one host is there. So it used to live in the large intestine, of human. Basically in the intestine of human. This is what you need to write. So human is the only host. So in the human body, it will take that 10-day tour, right? The larval stages are there. And see this Wicheria, it is the filarial worm, right? So it spreads. This is important. It used to cause elephantiasis. Okay, elephantiasis, which is also known as filariasis, right? It is elephantiasis, also known as filariasis. Elephantiasis, also known as filariasis. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? So, the mosquito, Culex, is the, here you will be having other host also. So, the mosquito, Culex, is the vector here. Okay. It will spread this filarial worm, Culex mosquito. This is important. It used to cause elephantiasis, filariasis. So obviously lymph canal will be blocked, and then what is going to happen? The fluid will get fluid will get aggregated. So this is the Wicheria, and then Encyclostoma, which is also known as the hookworm. So there are other examples also, bache, right? There are other examples also that we need to focus, like see here, and this Encyclostoma, it also lives in the intestine, right? It also lives in the intestine. So obviously they are pathogenic as well, right? They are pathogenic as well. Done, bache? Yes, they are pathogenic as well. Okay. Sure. Done. And do you know, bache, this Wicheria, it is viviparous, or you can say that ovoviviparous. This is important. Do you understand the meaning of these terms? Oviparous and ovoviviparous. Do you understand the meaning of these terms? Oviparous, viviparous, ovoviviparous. So oviparous, ovi, which will lay eggs. The organisms that used to lay eggs, they are oviparous, right? Viviparous, which will give birth to the organisms, like humans. We are viviparous. One more thing is there, ovoviviparous. In like Wicheria, in some books it is written as viviparous, but it is considered as, you know, kind of ovoviviparous, right? Ovoviviparous. Will tell you why. Actually, the point is here, in the case of ovoviviparous organisms, the organism that daughter, or you can say that basically that that baby will grow within the body, right? That baby will grow within the body, but there will be no proper placental structures. First thing, we can define it in two ways. Ovoviviparous, I'm saying. So in the case of ovoviviparous, there will be no placental connection, but you can say that the egg will hatch within the body. Okay, the egg will hatch within the body, and the egg will hatch within the body, and what is going to happen? Then organism will develop within the body. So that is the ovoviviparous. Okay, that is the ovoviviparous organism. So which area is viviparous? Mainly it is written. One more example is there, Trichinella. That is also the example of viviparous Aschelminthes. So you will tell me that which disease is caused by this Trichinella. Okay, which disease is caused by this Trichinella? This is what you need to answer. Fine, clear, sorted? Yes, done. So Phylum Aschelminthes. So body of the Aschelminthes is circular. I told you already. That is why we are calling them as roundworm. They may be free living, they may be aquatic and terrestrial, or parasitic in plants and animals. They have organ system level of organization, symmetry of course, bilateral, and they are pseudocoelomates. You know it very well. And in their digestive system is complete, and they will have muscular pharynx. They will have muscular pharynx. Clear? So excretory tubes are present. So you know that excretory structure here is H-shaped rennet cells. H-shaped rennet cells are present there. Okay, so sexes are separate, dioecious. Males and females are distinct. So females are longer than males, and the fertilization is internal, and the development may be direct, right? Direct, where the young ones resemble the adult. So you know that you have the example, right, where the development is direct, like your Wicheria, filarial worm it is, right? Trichinella is there. Okay. Okay. So these are the examples. So any other doubt, bachcho? Tell me, any other doubt? So answer this question. Of course, it's very simple. Just try to answer it. Quick. Try to answer it. Yes. Shark is viviparous. So I'm telling you, use the word vocal viviparous. But cephalization means the formation of head. Sir ban jata hai. Head, cephalization. So here, brain, we are not talking about the brain, the head region, right? So brain, in the case of Aschelminthes, it will be ring-like. So obviously some, ganglias, they will get, some ganglias are going to form structures like this. So answer this question, quick. Answer this question. So in Phylum Aschelminthes, females are longer than males. Done, bache? So next is Phylum Annelida. Okay, next is Phylum Annelida. So tell me the unique character of Phylum Annelida. Or you can say that any character which appears for the first time in Phylum Annelida. Yes, any character which appears for the first time in the Phylum Annelida. Tell me. Tell me. Quick. Quick. Yes, segmentation, very good, excellent, right? So now again in Phylum Annelida, you know that organ system level of organization will be there. है ना? Organ system level of organization will be there. They are having bilateral symmetry. Okay, triploblastic. And even they are true coelomates. Right? They are coelomates, true coelomates, schizocoelomates. In Aschelminthes, you know that members are pseudo-coelomates, but here they are coelomates. Okay, here they are coelomates. So again, you people can see this organ system level of organization, bilateral, triploblastic, and coelomates there. Right? Bilateral, triploblastic, and coelomates there. Right? Just have a look. Right? And here in the Annelida, for the first time, we will see true segmentation, the metamerism. Okay, the metamerism. Fine. True segmentation is there. Metamerism is there. So 3 examples which are given in your NCERT. Let me write it here. So obviously earthworm, Ferritima posthuma. Earthworm, Ferritima posthuma. Then the leech, Hirudinaria. And then the Nereis, right? The clamworm, Nereis. These are the 3 examples which are given in NCERT. Okay, these are the 3 examples which are given in NCERT. So, bache, here, this Nereis, it is dioecious. Okay, dioecious means unisexual. This is important. Please focus here. Right, this example is dioecious, unisexual example here. But earthworm and leech, what are they? They are monoecious. Again, the male and female is present in the same body. Okay, male and they are hermaphrodite, male and female is present in the same body. Clear? Clear? So they may be aquatic or terrestrial, free living, and sometimes parasitic. Okay, they exhibit organ system level of organization, bilateral symmetry, triploblastics, and coelomate. Clear, bache? And coelomate. So these 3 examples are given in NCERT: earthworm, leech, and Nereis. I'm repeating this again. Earthworm, Ferretima postuma, leech, Hirudinaria, Nereis, your clam worm is there. Okay, this is what we have. Fine, fine. And bache, you know na leech, the story of leech, Hirudinaria. So this organism is having the suckers, anterior and posterior sucker. Okay, anterior and posterior sucker, and you know that it is going to suck the blood. So the organism that feed on blood meal, we use the word sanguivorous, right? The organisms that feeds on, yes, blood meal, the word that we use for it is sanguivorous, right? It is sanguivorous. Clear, bache? Clear? And look at this earthworm's body. Obviously you can see external segments, and body is slimy, no? Moist, slimy. And can you see this region here? This is clitellum. That's your homework, right? That's your homework. Again, you will put it in comment section. What is clitellum? What is this clitellar region? Okay, what is this clitellar region? What is this clitellum? Fine? None. So first of all, let's talk about the segmented body. So here in the case of earthworm, bache, in the last class also I have explained it, that you will see. See, when we talk about the segmentation, that's what we discuss. When we talk about the segmentation, what do we discuss? That body, externally or internally. Okay, externally or internally, it should be divided. Isn't it? Externally or internally, it should be divided. Okay, it should be divided. So here the internal division, it is the septa basically. Septum is for singular and septa is for plural, right? So internally septa is present. Okay, and externally you will see these grooves, and we used to call it as annulus. Okay, these grooves are present. And another point that we discuss here in the segmentation is repetition of organs. So here you will see nephridia, the repetition of nephridia, right? The repetition of nephridia will be there. So in the case of your annelida, right, bache? In the case of your annelida, right, annelids, what will you see? You will see nephridia. It is not protonephridia. It is nephridia as an excretory organ, right? Nephridia as an excretory organ. Clear, bache? It is the nephridia which is the excretory organ. Are you getting it? So they are coelomates, metamerically segmented they are, right, bache? Metamerically segmented they are. Yes. Done? Okay. So now here in the case of this annelida, if you talk about the body wall, okay, if you talk about the body wall, so what will you see? You will see, bache, 3 layers here. Cuticle, the outermost, then comes the epidermis, and then again the muscular layer. Okay, again the muscular layer. So obviously this epidermis here is going to be living, but this cuticle is the outermost dead layer, right? And when you talk about the muscles, so you will see longitudinal and circular both the muscles, right? Longitudinal and circular both the muscles. The only difference is outer is circular here and inner is longitudinal here. Like in our case, in human beings, we have inner circular muscle, outer longitudinal muscle. In our case, we have the inner circular muscle, outer longitudinal muscles, but here it is important. In our case, basically inner is circular, outer is longitudinal, but here the outer is circular, inner is longitudinal. Okay, inner is longitudinal. So this is about the body wall, right? This is about the body wall. So outermost layer is cuticle. Of course, it is the earthworm, right? So it is going to be moist. This layer is basically moist. Okay, this layer is basically moist. So for the excretion, nephridia is there, right? For the excretion, nephridia is there. And do you know what about locomotion, bache? Do you know about locomotion? Yes, in the case of annelida, what do we have for the locomotion? Anyone? what do we have for the locomotion? But we will have some setae, chitinous setae, right? These are, you know, some small S-like structures. They are chitinous setae, right? You will find them in the case of earthworm, and along with it, yes, chitinous setae and some, you know, muscular appendages. That is parapodia, right? Some muscular appendages, that is parapodia. What is it? It is parapodia. So you will see it in the case of Nereis. Okay, Nereis. So it is some muscular appendages, outer growths there. Okay, these are some outer growths. So chitinous setae and the muscular appendages, parapodia, are there for the locomotion. Okay, it is there for the locomotion. Done, bache? Done? Sure? Yes? So now in the case of Annelida, when you talk about the respiration, again, body surface, right? For the respiration, there is no proper organ. Again, the body surface is there. If you talk about the blood, it is red colored, right? So red colored blood means hemoglobin is present. Yes or no? In their case, I'm saying the blood is red colored. Chandana, I'm saying the blood is red colored. So definitely they have the hemoglobin-like pigment, right? They have the hemoglobin-like pigment, isn't it? Isn't it? So red colored. So yes, you can write it down that they have hemoglobin-like pigment, not exactly the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin-like pigment, which is dissolved in plasma. Okay, which is dissolved in plasma. It is not present in some red blood cells or something. Red blood cells are actually absent here. So it is just present in plasma. Okay, this pigment. Done. And if I talk about the circulatory system, even in last class I told you about this. Even if I talk about the circulatory system, bache, so you will see closed type of circulatory system, right? Closed type of circulatory system will be there. Like blood will flow in proper blood vessels. Okay, blood will flow in proper blood vessels. Is that clear? Blood will flow in proper blood vessels. Done, bache? Okay, so excretion is with the help of nephridia, which also plays the role in the osmoregulation. Done? Yes? Done, bache? So we have 3 examples. I think that's, yes, that's more than sufficient. Reproduction is sexual, right? Nereis is dioecious, earthworm and leech is monoecious. I told you already. So it can be direct or indirect. Okay, it can be direct or indirect. So Nereis, as I said, dioecious. So you can also write down it is basically known as sandworm. Okay, so here in this case, parapodia present. In the case of earthworm, setae, chitinous S-shaped setae are present. So in the case of leech, right, both parapodia and setae, they are absent. Okay, both parapodia and setae, they are absent. Fine, these points are important too. Done, bache? These points are important too. So you guys can see the diagram here. So see the nephridia. So nephridia is repeated in these segments here. So that is why we are saying the true segmentation is present in the case of earthworm. Okay, so see both. They have what type of muscles do they have? Longitudinal and circular muscles, which will help in locomotion, especially in the case of this leech. So this leech is having 2 suckers, anterior and posterior. You know that it is the blood-sucking parasite. So we use the word sanguivorous. So organisms that feeds on blood meal, they are sanguivorous. Clear? They are sanguivorous. These are some other example: Halodela, earthworm, Glycera. So bache, this is your homework, right? This is your homework. You will tell me what is the role of this clitellum region. Okay, what is the role of this clitellum region? That's your homework. Fine. Now, Hirudinaria. You know, now in this Hirudinaria, we will see one chemical, that is hirudin. That is why we call the leech as Hirudinaria, because one chemical hirudin is present. What is hirudin, बच्चे? It's natural anti-blood coagulant. What is it? It's natural anti-blood coagulant. It will not let the blood to get clotted. Okay, it will not allow the blood to get clotted. Like, let's say if it is sucking the blood, so obviously, like say if it is sucking the human blood, it will it will put a drop there. So that drop, basically the secretions from leech body is having this hirudin, which will not let the blood to get clotted. So obviously it can have it, it can suck it, right? Right, like in our body we have the heparin, in the leech we will be having the hirudin. Okay, will be leech is having the hirudin. And again the story is same here, bache. The hydrostatic endoskeleton is present. Like there is no proper skeleton, again the fluid is making the skeleton here. Fine, the fluid is making the skeleton here. And here in the circulatory system, right, closed type of circulatory system is there. Fine, bache, fine. So any doubt? Any doubt? See, nearest. So bache, in the nearest na, you will notice that head has formed. So cephalization is there. So what is the meaning of cephalization? Head formation. It is not associated with brain. Head formation is there. Cephalization. Okay, that head-like structure has formed. Fine, head-like structure has formed. And here in the case of hirudinaria, no cephalization. Not even in the case of your earthworm. Fine, done, bache. So closed circulatory system, nephridia. So neural system is having, see, paired ganglia, right? So ganglia means which is composed of nerve cell. So it is connected by lateral nerves to form double ventral nerve cord. See, this point is important, right? This point is important. In the case of, see, they all are, these animals that we are discussing, they all are invertebrates, isn't it? They all are invertebrates, isn't it? Yes or no? Tell me, the organisms that we are discussing now, they are invertebrates, meaning no vertebral column. They do not have the vertebral column, right? So basically, even they all are non-chordates, and it's not mandatory that all the non-chordates, yes, it is not mandatory that all the chordates are having the vertebral column and they can be vertebrates. We will discuss about it. So invertebrates they are, means no vertebral column, and they are non-chordates, right? They are non-chordates basically. So in non-chordates, if there is nerve cord, so it will be solid and double and ventral. Like it will be present on the ventral side of organism, right? It will be present on the ventral. Like here in our case, this is the dorsal side, this is the ventral side, this is the lateral side. I'm repeating this again. In our case, this is the dorsal side, this is the ventral side, and this is the lateral side. Okay, dorsal, ventral, and lateral. Dorsal, ventral, and lateral. But here, in the case of invertebrates or non-chordates, if they have the nerve cord, that nerve cord will be solid, it will be double, it will be ventral, right? It is not hollow. In our case, it is hollow. It is single and it is a dorsal, but here it will be solid, double, and ventral. Okay? Okay, so these points are important. These points are literally important. Done, bache? Done. So again, the examples, Nereis, Pheretima, which is earthworm, and hirudinaria. Okay, hirudinaria. Done? Yes? Bache, you can take the screenshot here. Okay, so now let's revise it from NCERT, and the next that we need to start is your Phylum Arthropoda, which is the largest phylum of animal kingdom. So trust me, the topic is not so difficult. The only problem is so many examples and so many names are there, right? Although it's not difficult, it is not, it is literally not. Fine. Tell me. Okay, na? Okay. So, Phylum Annelida. So, see, we have covered all the points that they may be aquatic, marine and freshwater, or terrestrial. Okay. They are free living, sometimes parasitic, exhibit organ system level of organization, bilateral symmetry, triploblastic, metamerically segmented they are, right bache? So their segments are known as metamers. Okay, their segments are known as metamers. Clear bache? Clear? So they possess longitudinal and circular muscle which help in locomotion. Fine. So you should know that parapodia is present in the nereus only. And bache, do check the life cycle of nereus. It's very interesting. You will find one more during sexual stages. You will find the heteronereus there, right? Trust me. Just check it. Okay. Just check it. Just read the life cycle. It will hardly take you 5 minutes. Just read the life cycle of nereus. You will find it very interesting that in the reproductive stages, you know, you will see that parapodia arrangement, how will it change? You'll be able to differentiate, right? Read about it. Okay, so nephridia done, meant for excretion and osmoregulation, right? Nerve codes done and the examples done. So next is what? Next is our, yes, Phylum Arthropoda, the largest phylum of the animal kingdom. Clear? The largest phylum of the animal kingdom. Okay, so ma'am, when will be earning Pisces? So obviously after finishing it, na Jyoti? What type of question it is, ma'am? When will be learning Pisces? Of course, firstly we have to complete Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, then your Urochordates, Phylochordates, then in vertebrates you will talk about the Pisces. But here we have the tricks already on every slide, right? Tricks are given. But again, I'll tell you one thing, bache, if you will go after tricks, right, you have to remember these tricks, right? No doubt. But actually it's a problem. In the same time, you can remember the examples. I'm telling you, start with 5 phylums. That today I will finish all the example of these 5 phylums. Next day I'll finish the example of these 2 phylums. Next day another 2 phylums, like this. Go like this. I know Phylum Chordata is going to take time. Phylum Chordata will itself take 1 week. But this is what you have to do. You have to revise it again and again. Right? That's the only way out. You have to revise it again and again. Done? You really need to revise it again and again. Repeatedly you need to revise. And yes, for the diversity, I never suggest that you should go beyond NCERT, although these days paper is so easy that you just need to master the NCERT. But again, for the diversity, there is no need to go beyond NCERT, because if you will pick up any other book, you will find a lot of information there. And already, bache, 38 chapters are there, na? 38 chapters, so we don't have time. Okay. Okay, so we do not have time to store extra information here in our brain. You have to revise it. The revision is the only key. The revision is the only way out here. Okay, so answer this. Which one of the following is not a characteristic of Phylum Annelida? Which one of the following is not a characteristic of Phylum Annelida? Tell me. Yep. Tell me quickly. Not a characteristic of course, segmentation is there, closed circulatory system is there, ventral nerve cord. So they are not the pseudocoelomates. They are not the pseudocoelomates. Right, bache? So before starting it, let's enjoy a break for 15 minutes, right? Let's take a break. So now it's the break time. Let me write it beautifully. Okay, it's the break time. So we'll start at 7:30. Right? We'll start at 7:30. Then again, we will revise Arthropoda, Annelida, Arthropoda Echinodermata, Arthropoda Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and the flow chart of chordata. Then again, we will take a break. Okay, you can have your dinner then we will finish the Phylum Chordata. So earlier I was thinking that we should divide it into 3 parts. No, we'll finish it today only. We'll finish it today only. And tomorrow, do you know that, bache? Tomorrow morning, again, we'll finish the chapter Human Reproduction. Yes, we are going to finish the chapter Human Reproduction tomorrow morning. Yes, we'll start with the gametogenesis, the menstrual cycle, the embryonic stages. So we have to finish it tomorrow morning. So by this week, animal kingdom, human reproduction done. So if I'll take roughly four questions. So obviously, how many marks? 32? Hannah, 32 marks. Okay, so guys, in the same way, you people can join our Avengers batch also, and trust me, you are not going to regret. You will love this batch. You will enjoy this batch. Right? You are going to enjoy this batch. Right? So what you have to do, you just need to, like, see, by December, we'll finish your syllabus. So what you have to do, you can go to the any video. Let's say, okay, let's click here. So just go to the description box, see this NEET Energized batch. So it is the entry point for the NEET Avengers batch. So just click the link, add your number, add your email ID, and be the part of our batch. Okay, be the part of our batch. So, okay, let's meet at 7:30. Till then, bye, enjoy. I. Okay, so let's continue, bache. So now we will start the phylum Arthropoda, right? What will we start? We'll start the phylum Arthropoda, which is the largest phylum of the animal kingdom. Okay, so please take the notes because here we need to discuss few extra points as well. Okay, so let's start, bache. So what are we going to discuss? We will discuss phylum Arthropoda. So Arthropoda, the meaning of Arthropoda is jointed appendages, right? What is the meaning of Arthropoda? It means jointed legs, jointed appendages. So the organisms of this particular phylum Arthropoda will be having jointed legs and jointed appendages. Clear, bache? So as I said, it is what? It is the largest phylum of, okay, it is the largest phylum of animal kingdom, isn't it? What is it? It is the largest phylum of animal kingdom, isn't it? Right, bache? So if you talk about the planet Earth, so out of every 10 animals, 7 will be insects. Do you know that? Out of every 10, right? Out of every 10 animals, the 7 animals will be insects. So see this phylum. And why is it so? Why organisms of phylum Arthropoda, they are present everywhere and it is the largest phylum? Because the degree of protection that they have. Okay, degree of protection that they have. So as I said, phylum Arthropoda, largest phylum of animal kingdom. Okay, so let's talk about that basic characters. So obviously they are triploblastic. Organ system level of organization is there. Right, organ system level of organization is there. Triploblastic they are. Coelomates, bilaterally symmetrical, right, bache? Bilaterally symmetrical, and remember, they'll have jointed legs, and without any exception, open type of circulatory system will be there. Fine, open type of circulatory system will be there, and they'll have chitinous, right? Chitinous exoskeleton. This is what you need to remember, right? So the members of phylum, members of this phylum Arthropoda, this is a unique character, bache. They have chitinous exoskeleton. Right? They have the outer covering of chitin. So chitinous exoskeleton is there. So chitin, remember, it's a homopolysaccharide. Remember this chitin, it is a homopolysaccharide. It is made up of N-acetyl glucosamine. And even in the case of fungal cell wall, you will find this chitin. So because of this exoskeleton, obviously the members of phylum Arthropoda, they will get extra protection. Isn't it? They will get extra protection. Okay, so that is why they are present everywhere. So organ system level, triploblastic, coelomate, bilaterally symmetrical, jointed legs without any exception. They have open circulatory system and the chitinous exoskeleton is there. Okay, chitinous exoskeleton is there. Like if I talk about the example of your cockroach, right? You know that cockroach is the part of our syllabus. Isn't it? Cockroach is the part of our syllabus. Okay, so when we talk about this exoskeleton, so we used to say, just listen to me carefully. Like let's say dorsal, this is the dorsal side, this is the ventral side. Just assume right now, okay, that this is the dorsal side, this is the ventral side, and in between you have this, this side is the lateral side. Just assume. Okay, dorsal side, ventral side and the lateral side. So the point here is, bache, that in the case of these insects, in the case of these cockroaches, I told you chitinous exoskeleton is there. So this chitin will form some, you know, tiles like structure or some plates like structure. Okay, it will form some plates like structure or the tiles like structure. This word you people can use, like when we do the flooring, when we use the tiles. So if we fix the tiles, then we attach them, right, with the help of that cement, isn't it? With the help of that cement. So same is the case here. So these chitin, this chitin will form some plate like structure, right? Some plate-like structure, and we'll use the word sclerite for it. Okay, sclerite for it. So all these sclerites, they will join together. They will be having the arthrodial membrane in between, right? They'll be having the arthrodial membrane in between. Fine, arthrodial membrane, also known as articular membrane, and it will provide it the flexibility. Like chitinous exoskeleton is there, it is covering the body dorsally, ventrally, laterally, right? So this chitinous exoskeleton is forming these plate-like structure, and these plate-like structures, they will join together with the help of arthrodial membrane, and this membrane provides the flexibility. Okay, it provides the flexibility. Done bache. So dorsally, when it is covering the body of the cockroach, so you will use the word turga, right? Turga. The word will be turga. This is how I remember. This is my ventral side. Towards the ventral side we feel sternum, na? Towards the ventral side we feel sternum, na? So that is why dorsal side turga, and the ventral side is the sterna, right? And the lateral side will be the pleura. So these are the three parts. So this is how the exoskeleton is covering the body. Okay, so the degree of protection is more, so that is why they are present everywhere. Phylum Arthropoda, largest phylum, and it includes over 2/3 of the named species on earth. Okay, it includes over 2/3 of the named species on earth. Clear bache? Clear? So they can be, yes, they play different role. No doubt they can be aquatic, they can be terrestrial, they can be free living. Okay, they can be free living, right? And they can be parasitic also. So these characters are sorted, right? Triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical, and even of course metamerism is also there. They will also have the metamerism. The true segmentation is present in their case. But here we will see that body is, right? Body is divided into head, thorax and abdomen. Okay, in the case of Arthropoda, body is divided into head, thorax and abdomen, right? Head, thorax and abdomen. Sometimes bache, this head and thorax, it is fused, right? Head and thorax, it is fused. Then you will use the word cephalothorax. Fine, you will use the word cephalothorax, and then there will be the abdomen. Are you getting it? So basically body is divided into this head, into thorax, into abdomen, and sometimes what happened? The body, the head and thorax is fused, and you will get the structure cephalothorax, right? You will get the structure cephalothorax, right bache? Right bache? Any doubt here? Yes, any doubt here? Right? So now when you talk about the body cavity, as I said, externally it is covered. Like let's take the example of cockroach. So head will be there, 3 segments in the thorax, and then comes the abdomen, right? Then comes the abdomen. So see, so you will see the legs, right? Here you will see the compound eyes. You will see some sensory structures also, these antennae, right? And obviously wings also. So right now I cannot draw here. You guys can imagine. Okay? The diagram is not that bad. You can manage. Fine. So see, these are the jointed legs here. Jointed legs here. This is what you will see. So we will say na arthropoda. So meaning of arthropoda is jointed legs, jointed appendages. Okay? Jointed legs, jointed appendages. That is the meaning of arthropoda. Clear, bache? Clear? Now, when you talk about them, obviously they will also have the body cavity, right? And that body cavity, if I talk about the internal structure, about the body cavity, so that body cavity is hemocoel. What is it? It is hemocoel, right? It is hemocoel. Like I told you that they are having what? They have the open circulatory system. So when there is the open circulatory system, there will be the heart. When there is the open circulatory system, of course the heart is present. So to this heart, the large blood vessels, they are connected, isn't it? So when we'll pump the blood, let's say, see, heart will be pumped, the blood will come out, the heart will be pumped, the blood will come out from these large vessels. And see, in the body cavity, let me draw it here properly. Let's say this is the body cavity. Okay, so heart Heart, if present, it will be there on the dorsal side. Remember, if heart is present in the non-chordates, right? If heart is present in the non-chordates, it will be near to this, the dorsal side. Okay, so heart will pump the blood from these large blood vessels. Blood will come here in the surrounding, in this hemocoel. So obviously all the body organs, they will directly take a bath here in this hemocoel. Okay, right? So all the body organs will take the bath here. That okay, fine, blood is coming out, let's enjoy. Fine, let's enjoy. So this is what we see in the case of these arthropods. So what type of circulatory system is there? Open type. Without any exception, you will see open type of circulatory system. So the cavity is hemocoel, where all the body organs are present, right? So heart, when present, it is present towards the dorsal side. Okay, same way, bache, if there is the presence of nerve cord, of course there is the presence of nerve cord, so that nerve cord is present towards the ventral side. So nerve cord will be ventral, it will be solid, it will be double. So in the case of non-chordates, this is what you need to remember. If heart is present, it will be there on the dorsal side, right? And if the nerve cord is present, it will be ventral, it will be solid, it will be double. This is important. Okay, this is important. Done, bache? Clear? And yes, it is the first phylum. Remember this. It is the first phylum where you will see a proper respiratory system. Do you know that? It is the first phylum in which you will see a proper respiratory system. Okay, proper respiratory system. You will see the tracheal system in the case of your cockroach, in the case of your insect. Tracheal system is also there. Like if I talk about the cockroach, in the body of cockroach, right, in the body of cockroach, this is what you people are going to see, right? There will be some, apertures. Right, there will be some apertures present on the lateral side. But I am not counting it now, although in the case of cockroach, there are 10 pairs of spiracles. I'm not going to count it, right? I'm not going to count it. Just listen to me very carefully. So basically what is happening in the case of Phylum Arthropoda, it is the first phylum in which you will see the members, they have proper respiratory system. Otherwise, before it, we were talking about the plasma membrane, we were talking about the skin, we were talking about the body wall, but here what will we see? The proper respiratory system. So let's take the example of cockroach, because cockroach is the part of your syllabus, right? So you will see from some apertures, that hole-like structures, right? That apertures, that hole-like structures, what are they? They are known as spiracles. Right, they are known as spiracles. So there are 10 pairs of spiracles in the cockroach. It's a very famous question. 10 pairs of spiracle in the cockroach. So from these spiracles, they are hole-like structures, right? So they are compared with the human nostrils. We have these external nostrils. Yes, bache, we have these external nostrils. So they are compared with these external nostrils. Okay. Okay. So then what will happen? The air will enter from these spiracles. Right, air will enter or leave from these spiracles. Fine. So simply it will enter by a diffusion, but from spiracle the entry and exit will occur. And here next to it you will see, you will see some tube-like structures. Okay, you will see some tube-like structures, the proper tube, the trachea, they will further divide, they will form tracheoles. So I will not go in that depth. So basically all I want to say is that in the case of Arthropoda, in some members you will see that there will be the tube-like structures, tracheal system is there, air will enter from spiracles. So with the help of these tracheas, tracheoles, finally it will reach to the tissue. Okay, finally it will reach to the tissue. So exchange of gases will be there as per the, see, this is spiracle, yes, air is coming in. So exchange of gases will be there as per diffusion only, right? As per diffusion only. But that's how it occurs. Okay, that's how it occurs. Fine, bache? Fine, fine. This is important. Tracheal system. So in the case of insects, mostly you will see the tracheal system. Done, bache? And other than tracheal system, you will even see gills. Gills in the case of prawn. Right, right? In the case of prawn, there are different examples, right? Gills are there. There are book gills also. Why do we call it as book gills? Because they, you know, they look like the pages of the books. They are very thin, thin structures. So you will see it in the case of king crab. King crab, you know, na, king crab, limulus, the living fossil, right? It is the limulus, the living fossil. So gills are there, book gills are there, right? But your tracheal system is there, right? So that is how the respiration takes place. That is how the respiration takes place. Clear? Clear, clear, clear? So respiratory system, tracheal gills are there, book gills are there. Fine? Fine, bache. So from spiracle, air will enter when it is the tracheal system. Okay? Done. So this is about the respiratory system. Now let's talk about the excretory system. So circulatory system is done. Segmentation of body is done. So now next is what? Next is the excretory system. So see, here in the case of Arthropoda, you will see diversity when you talk about the excretory system, right? In the case of insects, the best example is your cockroach. Cockroach is the part of your syllabus. Okay, as of now, cockroach is the part of your syllabus, right? So in the case of insects, you will see Malpighian tubules. Okay, you will see Malpighian tubules. Do you know this? What will you see in the case of excretory system? You will see Malpighian tubule. Okay, Malpighian tubule. Just a minute. Right? Like we have the digestive system now. Here also the digestive system is complete. Let me show you. Digestive system is complete. So obviously it will start from the mouth and ends at this anus. So obviously all that parts, that buccal cavity and all. And here in the digestive system of insect, you will even see the crop and the gizzard. Okay, you will even see the crop and the gizzard. So basically, when you talk about the excretory system, why am I telling you about the digestive system? Because the digestive system is divided into 3 parts, right? Can you tell me? Like we say na, foregut, midgut, and the hindgut. Foregut, midgut, and the hindgut. Isn't it? Foregut, midgut, hindgut. Right? This is how we discuss it. This is how we discuss it. So in the digestive system, you will even see crop. You will even see gizzard. G for gizzard, G for grinding. So what is going to happen in gizzard? Obviously the grinding of food. In the crop, there will be the storage. So basically, I want to say that when you talk about the Malpighian tubules, they are present. It's a previous year question, bache. No doubt in detail we discuss it in cockroach. But you know that cockroach topic is very lengthy, right? So already we are discussing the phylum Arthropoda. So we should link some things and then we should revise. Okay? Right? We should link it and we should revise. So digestive system is having all that mouth, crop, gizzard. I'm not going in the depth of it. So crop will store the food, gizzard is for the grinding. Fine. So at the junction of midgut and hindgut, at the junction of midgut and hindgut, you will see 100 to 150 some tube-like structures. Let's say this is the junction, right? 100 to 150, some tube-like, some yellowish kind of tube-like structures. So we used to call it as Malpighian tubules. They are meant for excretion. Okay, they are meant for excretion. Malpighian tubules in the case of insects. Done? In the case of insects, it is an important question. It is an important question. So we have antennary glands also. Right? Antennary glands also. They are also known as green glands. Right? They are also known as green glands. So it's a very important question. It is found in the case of prawn. Okay. And the coxal gland is also there. Right? The coxal gland is also there. It is in the case of scorpion. Fine. So again, the diversity is there in the excretory system, in the respiratory system. Fine. So in the excretory system, Malpighian tubules, antennary glands, and the coxal glands are present. Okay. And the coxal glands are present. Done, bache? Okay, so I'm not telling you about the excretory matter, that this here ammonia is present, this is present, that is present. We will discuss that in excretory product and its elimination part. Okay, we will discuss it there only. So this is what you need to take care. This is what you need to revise, bacho. Okay, this is what you need to revise. Fine. Fine. So any doubt here? And yes, one more thing. So I was telling you about the hemocoel here, na? I was telling you about the hemocoel here. Hemocoel. Right, that the cavity here is hemocoel. But this hemocoel is having the hemolymph. Okay, it is having the hemolymph here. So basically, in the case of cockroach, if you are going to kill the cockroach, you will not get red blood. In the case of arthropod, you are not going to get red blood. Okay, right? Right? So in the case of cockroach, you will not see. Right? In the case of cockroach, you people will not see the red blood. If you are going to kill a cockroach, you will find some white colored fluid. So basically, it is the hemolymph. It is the hemolymph. Okay, so no hemoglobin is present. No hemoglobin is present. Okay, and here in hemolymph, you will find a sugar, trehalose. You will find a sugar, trehalose sugar is there. So this hemolymph, this fluid is not associated with the transport of gases. Like in our case, what do we have? In our case, we have hemoglobin, right? Red blood, hemoglobin present in RBCs. So it helps in the transport of gases. But here in the case of this arthropoda, in the hemocoel, there will be the hemolymph and it is without pigment. No hemoglobin is there. Okay, so it is without pigment. So that is why it is what? It is colorless. Fine, it is colorless. Okay, and it is not meant for the transport of gases. Keep it in your head. Hemolymph is not used for the transport of gases. Done. It is not meant for the transport of gases. This is what you need to remember. Okay, this is what you need to remember. So these points are in general in the case of non-chordates. If heart is present, dorsal side. If nerve cord is present, ventral side. It will be solid, it will be double. Write down. It will be solid, it will be double. Right? It will be solid, it will be double. Clear? So nerve ring, double solid and ventral nerve cord having ganglia will be there. Okay, having ganglia will be there. Okay, fine. Fine. Yes. So mostly they are dioecious. Right? Mostly they are dioecious. That is unisexual, right? Unisexual, and they are very successful animals on the land habitat also because of the degree of protection and everything. Okay. So now, bache, we will also talk about their sense organs, and here we will talk about the compound eyes. What will we discuss here? We'll talk about the compound eyes, but just allow me a minute and then we will continue. I just need to get my water bottle. So just allow me 2 or 3 minutes, then we will continue. Okay. Done? Okay. Hemoglobin is absent there in the case of Arthropoda. Now I said they have the compound eye, right? What do they have? You will see the compound eye. No doubt they even have the simple eye, but that simple eye will not make any image or something. With the help of these simple eyes, right? They can just sense the darkness and the light. That's all. Right? They can just sense the darkness and the light when it is the simple eye. So simple eye, it means oscillus, but they have the compound eyes. Now when you talk about these compound eyes, na bache, they are made up of segments, like so many small structures, right? So many subunits they join and then they form this eye. Just have a look, right? Can you see this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like this. Like this. Can you see these segments, right? Can you see these small subunits, right? So they all will join and they are going to form the compound eye. They all will join and they will form what? They will form the compound eye. So this single subunit here is what? It is ommatidia, right? It is ommatidia. So ommatidium is singular, ommatidia is plural. These some hexagonal structures, right? It is the ommatidium. Ommatidium is singular, ommatidia is plural. Okay, so together they are making this compound eye, and each segment here will form the image. That is why in the case of these insects we see the mosaic vision. Okay, we used to see the mosaic vision. So see, each segment is going to form the image. So imagine, that is why, you know, when you switch on the light, okay, like let's say you are going to the kitchen, you are hungry, you want to eat something late night, you want to eat the Maggie or the ice cream or the chocolate, whatever it is, you're moving towards the kitchen, suddenly you open up the light. If you will see the cockroach on your shelf, that cockroach will run very quickly, right? And even if you will move little closer to that cockroach, what that cockroach will do? Cockroach will run very fastly, right? Very fastly. Why? How can they detect such small changes? Even if you will move your hand like this, they can detect. Why? Because of this mosaic vision, right? Each and every segment here, it is making the image. So like they will have, you know, the resolution of image will not be good, but obviously, right, because each and every segment is making the image. So even if you are moving like this, they can detect. Okay, they can detect. Are you getting my point? They can detect, right? This is what you need to keep in your head. So this is providing, because it is made up of many segments, it is giving the mosaic vision, right? Mosaic vision. This is interesting, isn't it? It is interesting. They don't have tentacles, the antennas, which can also sense the surrounding. The antenna is there. Okay, antenna is there. Not just the antenna, other structures are also present. Fine. So when you talk about these arthropods, you will see their economic importance, right? Some are gregarious pests. Okay, they used to live all together. Fine. And some, you know, spread the disease also. They are the vectors of many disease. They are useful as well, like lac insect, which will give us the lac, lecifer, which will give us the lac. Okay, other than that, you know that the silk moth, right, which will give the silk. Okay, honey bees, from where we will get the honey. So in this particular phylum, you will see the diversity. You will see the insects that are, you know, even the parasitic. You will see the insects that are the vectors. You will even see the animals which are, you know, giving us something good. Fine. Clear, bache? So see, body of Arthropoda covered with the chitinous exoskeleton. We know it. Divided into head, thorax, and abdomen. They have jointed appendages. See, orthos means joint. Poda means appendages. Respiratory organs are gills, book gills, and book lungs. Okay, so I gave you the example of gills, book gills. Can you give me the example of book lungs also? Yes, anyone? Can you just quote the example of book lungs? The organism having book lungs. The organism having book lungs. Yes. The organism having book lungs. Anyone? Book lungs. No, it is definitely not housefly. But book lungs, spider, scorpio. Okay. Right. So for gills, prawn. For book gills, limulus, king crab. Okay, tracheal system in the case of insects. So examples are important, right? Examples are important here. Done, bache. So open type of circulatory system is there. So sensory organs will include antennae, eyes, compound and simple. So compound eye will give us the will give them the mosaic vision, right, bache? And simple eye, they are also known as ocellus. Ocellus singular, ocelli plural. And balancing organ, stetocyst, is also present in the aquatic form. Okay, aquatic form. So for excretion, Malpighian tubules are there, bache, and coxal glands are also there. Green glands are also there. They are mostly dioecious. Fertilization is usually internal, and they used to lay down the eggs, right? So development can be direct or indirect. Done, bache? Development can be direct or indirect. So see the locust, gregarious pest it is, right? The butterfly, prawn, scorpion. Okay. Done, bache? So see, economically importance, apis, your honeybee will get the honey. Bombyx mori, silkworm. I was saying silk moth, na? No, silkworm it is, right? So obviously we'll get the silk, and lessifer, from where the lac will be obtained. Okay, so vectors are Anopheles. Best example is malaria. It spreads malarial parasite, right? It spreads malarial parasite. So vector is the one which will spread a disease. Culex will spread. Remember filarial worm, Wucheria. It will spread filarial worm, Wucheria. And Aedes, yes, bache, Aedes will spread. Yes, Aedes will spread. Tell me, it's a very common disease. Okay, that's your homework then. Done. So now the next is Limulus, which is the living fossil. So, bache, what is the meaning of living fossil? I told you this thing in the plant kingdom also, na? Limulus, living fossil. Like, these are the members, right? They are the only members of their group, right? Rest all the members of their group, they are extinct. They are fossilized. They don't present. They are not present on this planet Earth. They were present. They are fossilized. Okay, they are fossilized. Are you getting it? What are they? They are fossilized. Okay, okay. And in other words, you can say that these are the animals which are not showing any further modifications, any further adaptations. Their characters are just like the characters of the organisms that are fossilized. Okay, that are fossilized. So this is the Limulus king crab. Okay, so that's all, bache. You need to know about the, of course, about the examples. That is the most important thing. So this is the largest phylum of the animal kingdom. Now the next will be your second largest phylum, but before that, answer this question, that in Phylum Arthropoda, excretion takes place through. Yes, excretion takes place through. Yes, bache, what should be the answer? Excretion takes place through. It's very easy. Yes, it's very easy. Tell me. Of course, it is the Malpighian tubule. And Srinath, seriously, what are you doing here? Why are you wasting your time? Flame cell is in the case of Platyhelminthes. Okay. See, all other students are saying B and he's still typing A. Don't waste your time. Literally, don't waste your time. Watch something good. Watch a movie. At least you will feel good. No need to waste your time here. Fine. So next is what? Next is the phylum Mollusca. But now this phylum Mollusca, it is the second largest phylum of animal kingdom. Right? It is the second largest phylum of animal kingdom, Mollusca. Okay, so here in molluscans, we will see the shell-bearing organism. Obviously, they also have the level of protection, right? They also have the level of protection. They are shell-bearing. They have the external shell, even internal shell. And in some forms, even the shells are absent. But they are the shell-bearing organisms, right? They are the shell-bearing organisms. So you will see, these are the important characters here. You will see the mental, you will see a muscular foot here, right? You will see mental, you will see muscular foot here, you will see radula here. Okay, right? These are the important characters that you need to revise. Okay, that you need to revise. See what we have here: mental, the muscular foot, radula, even ctenidia, right? Even ctenidia. Okay, ctenidia, osphradium. That is what we need to discuss. So let's talk about the general characters first. Phylum is Mollusca, the second largest phylum. What is it? It is the second largest phylum. So here in Phylum Mollusca, yes, triploblastic organisms. Okay, triploblastic, coelomates, bilaterally symmetrical, but yes, they can also become asymmetrical also. Fine, so triploblastic, coelomates, bilaterally symmetrical. Okay, and then, yes, then, anything else? Yes, bacho. Kiddos, please answer. So triploblastic, coelomates, bilaterally symmetrical. So shell, they have the shell, they have the muscular foot. I'm repeating this again, please note down, right? The radula is present there, the mental cavity is present there, mental cavity basically, right? Mental cavity is present there, shell, muscular foot, radula, mental cavity, ctenidia, singular is ctenidium. Okay, so these are the structures which are present there, and that is what we need to discuss. Okay, so now here in the case of mollusca, see, I just said that they are, right, we say they are unsegmented, but we have the exceptions also. Usually they are what, bache? They are unsegmented, right? These mollusca, what are they? They are unsegmented, but yes, we have the exception where we have the segmented mollusca also. So usually they are soft bodied. So they are just covered with, right? They are soft bodied, so they are having the shell in which they are present. First of all, I'll show you the diagram. See this, just have a look. The muscular foot surrounding my mental is there. See this is a snail. Okay, it is a snail. See this outer dome like shell is there. The body is usually unsegmented, bilaterally symmetrical, but we will see it will also become asymmetrical. I'll explain it. Okay, so see how the delicate body organs are present. Mostly here also you will see open circulatory system, right? You are going to see open circulatory system, but again in octopus, basically in cephalopods, you will see closed circulatory organs as well. Right? Smitha is right. Visceral hump is there. Like all the body organs, they are all together here. They are forming a hump-like structure. Right? Hump-like structure. And what is ctenidia? Ctenidia is basically the filamentous, or you can say that very thin feather-like gills they are. Right? Feather-like gills they are. And see, this is the muscular foot which will help in the movement. And when we were saying the radula is the rasping organ. It is basically a kind of grater. Okay, it's basically a kind of grater, right? So again, brain and all that nervous system will be present here. Heart is present there, but one by one we will see their position. Okay, that is how it is present. Now see this diagram. Just have a look of this diagram. So you will see bi-shelled organisms, single-shelled organisms, without shell even. Some mollusca are even without shell. Okay, so see dorsal and ventral side. Can you see these gills, foot? See, it's soft-bodied, na? Soft-bodied. Isn't it, bache? It is soft-bodied. Have a look. Quick. Yes. Yes or no, बच्चे? है ना? Done? Okay. Done. So shell, muscular foot, radula, mental, all these points are present. So okay, now note down, bache. So as I said, this is the second largest phylum of the animal kingdom, right? So note down this point. Like I said, na, they are bilaterally symmetrical. What are they? They are bilaterally symmetrical. But in, right? But in some mollusca, like your pila. Do you know pila? Pila, apple snail, it is. Pila is known as apple snail, right? So, see this, bilaterally symmetrical, but in some mollusca, pila, that is apple snail, right? So, during development, torsion will occur. Due to torsion. This is important, please note down. Due to torsion. Torsion is basically the twisting of the body. Now see, have you seen a pila, apple snail? Like it is a complete closed structure. You will see that the soft-bodied animal is totally covered, right? It is totally covered. It is present within the shell and there is one opening. Okay, there is one opening. Are you getting it? There is one opening. So in the case of this mollusca, because that soft-bodied organism need to fit in that shell, right? It needs to fit in that shell. So obviously, right, during development, there is a rotation. There is a kind of rotation. We used to call it as torsion. It is basically the twisting of the body organs. Right? It is basically the twisting of the body organs. So bilaterally symmetrical, but in some mollusca, the example here is pila, apple snail. During development, due to torsion or twisting, right, organism become unsymmetrical. Okay, become unsymmetrical. Done. So this is what you need to remember. Okay, this is what you need to remember. And moreover, bache, molluscans, they are unsegmented. They are not segmented. This is also important. They are unsegmented. We have just only one exception of Neopilina, which is a segmented mollusk. Otherwise, mollusca, they are what? They are unsegmented. Okay. Right? They are unsegmented. So we have just one exception here, and that exception is what? That exception is of the unsegmented mollusca, that is Neopilina. Right, that is Neopilina, segmented mollusk. Okay, it is a segmented mollusk. Done? Done, bache? So otherwise, so all the points are same, na? They are bilaterally symmetrical. Organ system level of organization is there. Okay, fine. Fine. So in the body, I'm repeating this again. Shell, visceral hump. Visceral hump means all the body organs, you know. And then the foot, muscular foot is present. Clear, bache? It is the shell which is calcareous, which is made up of calcium, right? It is calcareous. It is made up of calcium. So shell, visceral hump, and the muscular foot is present. Okay, and the muscular foot is present. Done, bache? Done, bache? Okay, so one important character here is the mental. Okay, one important character here is the mental. Okay, it's a characteristic feature of mollusca. Done. It's a characteristic feature of mollusca. Done. Mental. Mental, which is also known as pallium. Mental, which is also known as pallium. Okay, it's mental, which is also known as pallium. So actually, bache, you know that here, see, head will be in the interior region. It will be having, you know, all that tentacles and all. Just, have you seen any shell ever? Have you seen any shell ever? Ever, any shell bearing organism? It's very common, and especially in the rainy season. right? Especially in the rainy season. So basically, see, the head region will be having the tentacles. So there will be the formation of a visceral hump. I'm not making it properly. I hope you all can imagine. So all the body organs like digestive system and all, they are present here. So now what is going to happen, bache? This visceral hump is covered with a layer of tissue. Fine. This visceral hump is covered with a layer of tissue. And this layer is known as mantle, also known as pallium, and it's a unique feature of mollusca. Clear, bache? So basically this visceral hump, okay, basically this visceral hump is covered with a layer of skin, right? So it is basically the mantle, which is a characteristic feature of mollusca. So obviously it will provide the protection, right? The one role is it is going to provide the protection to this visceral hump, and moreover this mantle, it secretes calcareous shell. Remember this, it secretes calcareous shell. Okay, so the mantle is going to secrete the calcareous shell. It will form this shell. Okay, so mainly its role is of protection. Done, bache? Clear? So soft and spongy layer of skin is the mantle, is the pallium over the visceral hump. Correct? Done? Done, bache? So this calcareous, right? This calcareous shell is formed by this mantle. Important it is. Okay. So one more point is there, bache. Many times, many students, they make the mistake here, and sometimes even teachers too, right? So here, in between this mantle and the visceral hump, we will see some gap. Okay, that is the mantle cavity. Like let's say this is that soft layer, mantle, and here you have the visceral hump. Right, here you have that visceral hump. Right, so in between this visceral hump and mantle, you will see the space. This is the mantle cavity. This is the mantle cavity. Okay, this space. So sometimes, you know, even teachers, they make the mistake. Are you getting it? Right? Done? Clear? Clear? So this is the mantle cavity. Done, bache? So sometimes even you know, initially even I used to forget it. So basically sometimes we think the space in between the mantle and the calcareous shell, it is the mantle cavity. No, the space between this mantle and visceral hump is the mantle cavity. This is important. Literally it is important. Okay, so please take a note of it. It is important. Now, bache, we are also talking about the radula. See, the digestive system is there. Obviously, the digestive system will be complete. Now, in that digestive system, in the case of mollusca, there is one organ, that is radula. It looks like that. It is having some transverse teeth. Okay, it is having some transverse teeth. So it is a rasping organ, right? Rasping organ. So basically, it's just like a grater. It's just like a grater. Okay, this is what you need to remember. Again, it is unique to the mollusca. So see, if you want to master the chapter Animal Kingdom, you just need to focus on the peculiar feature of every phylum. So that is why I always suggest this to students, that start with remembering the names of phylums, then go for the basis of classification. If you know the basis of classification very well and you can relate it with the phylums, then obviously you will be able to answer at least one question from the Animal Kingdom chapter. Secondly, what you have to do? Hello, done? Are you done? Done? Or seriously, you want to spam? If you want to, you please proceed. I don't mind. Okay, I don't mind. Fine, keep it up. So that is the point, right? So radula, it is the rasping organ. Now muscular foot is there for the locomotion. Another important feature is cnidia, cnidium. Okay, another important feature here is cnidia. Cnidium is singular, cnidia is plural. They are feather-like gills, right? They are very thin. They are feather-like gills, right? something, you know, filament like, feather like gills they are. So they are not just playing role in the respiration, but respiration as well as excretion, that is important. Respiration as well as excretion, that is important. That is important. This is what you need to do. Okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to remember. So it is a question. It is a PYQ. It's a previous year question. Done, bache? Okay. Okay. So during respiration, obviously you have different structure. The gills are ctenidia, right? They are comb-like, they are feather-like. They oxygenate the blood with the oxygen from the water. Fine. Fine. Right? So ctenidia helps in the respiration as well as in the excretion. But again, we have the excretory organs also. Here we also have the excretory organs. It is not given in NCERT, but again it is important. So that excretory organ is organ of Bugenus. Right? It is organ of Bugenus or Keber's organ. Fine. Or Keber's organ. What is it? It is organ of Bugenus or the Keber's organ. Clear, bache? Keber's organ. Done? So ctenidia, feather-like gills, excretory organ is organ of Bugenus or the Keber's organ. Fine, bache? Or the Keber's organ. Done? So fertilization can be both external and internal. It's a very common feature given in NCERT. Usually you will see the larva, but sometimes larva is also absent. Okay? Right? Larva is also absent. So you will see the bi-shelled organisms also, like Unio, right, apple snail, right, simple snail, Acatena, and octopus. Octopus is also there from this phylum Mollusca, but octopus is having no shell, right? Octopus is having no shell. Okay, let's revise it. So done, bache. So coelomate, triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical, right, and they are unsegmented, but the one exception is your Neopilina. Okay, Neopilina is a segmented mollusca. Done, bache. So the next thing is visceral hump. So soft and spongy layer of skin forms a mantle over the visceral hump. The space between the hump and the mantle is called the mental cavity. Important, very important point. Done, bache. So sensory tentacles are also there. File-like rasping organ, that is radula is present. Again important. Usually dioecious means unisexual. Oviparous they are. Usually indirect, but direct development can also be there. So now just have a look of these examples. So Pila, apple snail, this is pink tada. But this is very important. This pearl oyster is very important, right? This is very important. So it, from this particular mollusca, we used to get the pearl. You know about the pearl industry? Do you know about the pearl industry? Right? Father of pearl industry is Kokichi Mikimoto. I don't remember the name. Kokichi, father of pearl industry. Obviously, he's from Japan. He was from Japan. Father of pearl industry. But actually, the formation of pearl for a mollusk, it is a protective mechanism. Right? Formation of pearl in a pearl oyster, that is your pink tada, it is a protective mechanism. Like this this mollusk is protecting itself. Whenever you know any impurities they enter in the body of that mollusca, then what is going to happen? Mollusca starts secreting a layer. Right? They start forming a layer. They start secreting a layer, and we used to call it as nacre or necker, I don't remember exactly. So basically what is happening, like let's say there is one impurity, so these pearls, they will form the layers around it. So with time, all their depositions, it used to form the pearl, right? It used to form the pearl. Now in the pearl industry, what they used to do, obviously they collect all these pink tada, the pearl oyster. Now they will place it in such a way. I have seen one video, you should see it, right? So you will realize that how selfish we are, right? So we, you know, the setup is in this way that, let's say there is a kind of setup where all the pearls, they are placed. So deliberately they will insert the impurities within it. Okay, impurities within it. Then they will rotate it in this manner. They are going to rotate all that pearl oysters in this manner. Why? Because when they will secrete that layer, that nacre around that impurity, so if they will rotate them in that circular manner, so obviously that layer will also be circular. So they will get a perfect, Okay, they will get a, right, they will get a perfect pearl, rounded pearl, right? Then they will open it, they will take it out. Fine, are you getting it? Yes, but are you getting it? So another example is sepia, which is also known as cuttlefish, loligo, which is squid, obviously used to release the fluid. Then this Ctenophora, the chitin, this Ctenophora chitin having eight plates here, right? You can even count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, 8 plates are present there. Chitin, this chitin, the octopus, devilfish, which is without shell, and yes, having closed circulatory system, right? Having closed circulatory system. Then aplysia, see here, and dentalium tusk shell, right? It looks like elephant's tusk. Dentalium tusk shell. Okay, it is the tusk shell. Done, bache? Clear? So examples, of course, they are important. Okay, examples, they are important. So take the screenshot of that trick also. Right, just take the screenshot, bache. Okay. Done? Sure? So in the case of mollusca, when you talk about the sense organs, right? When you talk about the sense organs, so stetocyst is present for the balancing, of course, and along with the stetocyst, one is osphradium, right? One is osphradium. So it checks the chemical nature of water. Fine. It checks the chemical nature of water. And this stetocyst, it is the balancing organ. What is it? It is the balancing organ. Clear, bache? Done? Done. Yes, is that clear? Now, one more thing is there in the case of this mollusca. You know this octopus, also known as devilfish, squid, your sepia, firstly sepia, the cuttlefish, yep, loligo, which is squid. So, bache, these three, they are the example of cephalopods, right? So, in their case, shell is absent and they have closed, right? Closed circulatory system. These are the exceptions. Okay, so they have the closed circulatory system. It is important. Okay, it is important. Done, bache? So, octopus, your sepia, loligo. So they belong to the class Cephalopoda and they have the closed circulatory system. Fine, they have the closed circulatory system. Okay, so now I'll ask few questions and then we will discuss the next part. Done? So this is the apple snail. You guys can check. This is the apple snail, right? We have dissected it, but never perfectly. We have dissected it, but never perfectly. It's very difficult to dissect phyla. Ji, please, if you have a doubt, just let me know. Instead of spamming, just ask your doubt, bache. And this is the octopus. You know how to differentiate the octopus and the sepia, cuttlefish. In the octopus, 8 arms are there. But in the case of cuttlefish, 10 arms are there. 10 arms are there. And you know, now octopus, they are considered as the intelligent animals. Do you know that? Octopus. Okay, so now I'll ask few questions. So yes, bache, even in the paper, they can ask you questions like this. That out of the following, which one is a true fish? Out of the following, which one is a false fish? Like in the case of Arthropoda. Yes, I forgot to tell you that. In the case of Arthropoda, one example is Lepisma. right? In the case of Arthropoda, one example is Lepisma, right? It is very shiny, silver colored, shiny, right? You will find it in old clothes, in the libraries, in the old books. You will see an insect which is small, which is very shiny and silver colored, right? So Lepisma is an insect. Lepisma is an insect. It is also known as silver fish, right? It is also known as silver fish. Same way, they can give you this question that out of the following, which one is a true fish? Like, let's say in the options you have silver fish, you have cuttlefish, you have devilfish, and the fourth is your flying fish. So flying fish is a true fish. Flying fish, Exocetus, it belongs to Pisces. Okay, it belongs to Pisces. Clear, bache? Clear? Okay, done? So that's the point. Done, bache? So this is what you need to remember. So that's all. So now we will talk about the echinoderms, right? The advanced phylum of invertebrates, but you know, it is having many primitive characters. Right, literally, it is having very primitive characters, although it is a very advanced phylum. Like echinoderms, they are brainless, they are heartless. Literally, they are brainless, they are heartless, they don't have brain, they don't have heart, they don't even have the excretory system. So in the phylum Echinodermata, right, Echinodermata, see the meaning of Echinodermata is spiny bodied, right? Their body is spiny. Some outgrowths will be there on the body. Okay, so in the Echinodermata, the water vascular system is present, right? Water vascular system is present. But in Phylum Porifera, you have water canal system, but in Phylum Echinodermata, water vascular system is there, right? Water vascular system is there. Just a minute. That's important. Water canal system, and here it's water vascular system. Okay, it is water vascular system. Clear, bache? Clear? Okay, so that's important. So what are they? Echinoderms, they are the spiny bodied. Okay, they are the spiny bodied. But see, no doubt they are primitive also. You will see, you know, the absence of excretory system, the absence of circulatory system here, right? So the brain is also not there in the case of echinoderms, but still they have some advanced features, right? So that we compare them with the chordates, right? They even have the advanced features. Okay, they even have the advanced features. So let me tell you, so they will be having the endoskeleton, mesodermally derived endoskeleton. Like in the case of chordates, we will see endoskeleton, right? As of now, we have seen the exoskeleton in the case of your arthropods, and even in the mollusca, the shell is there, right? But here in the case of echinoderms, this is the advanced feature. They have the endoskeleton, which is mesodermally derived. Means it is made up of, right? It is made up of mesoderm. Okay, it is made up of mesoderm, right? The next thing is development. They are deuterostomous. Remember deuterostomous? The trick is bad. The trick is bad here. Like blastopore. Blastopore will form anus first. Okay, blastopore will form anus first. Remember? Blastopore will form anus first, right? This is the advanced character. And they are coelomates, no doubt. One is schizocoelomates, another is enterocoelomates. So they are enterocoelomates. Fine. So these are the advanced character: endoskeleton, enterocoelomates, right? Deuterostomous, right? Deuterostomous they are. So again, in the phylum Echinodermata, right? These are the advanced characters also. There are other characters also, but right now, you know, you just focus here. And now here, phylum Echinodermata. Again, bache, I told you already that all are exclusively marine. All members of this phylum Echinodermata, they are present in the sea water. There is no example in the fresh water. All the members are exclusively marine. Okay, all the members are exclusively marine. Clear, bache? So adults are radially symmetrical. You know it very well. Adults are radially symmetrical, right? But when you talk about the larva, they have bilateral symmetry. Okay, the larva is having the bilateral symmetry, right? But adult is having echinodermata, so the adult is having radial symmetry. So overall, we consider that the members of phylum Echinodermata, they have the radial symmetry. Okay, they have the radial symmetry. Clear, bache? So triploblastic and coelomates they are. Done. Triploblastic and coelomates they are. So now digestive system is complete here, but mouth will be there on the lower side and anus on the upper side. Like if you consider the example of a starfish, imagine this is a starfish, right? Just imagine this is a starfish. So in the case of starfish, this dorsal side will be having the anus and the mouth will be there on the ventral side. Okay, the dorsal side will be having the anus and the mouth will be there, but on the ventral side. Clear, bache? So there is the presence of water vascular system, and that system will help in locomotion, even in capturing the food, even in transport of food, even in the respiration, right? Even in the respiration. This is the water vascular system. Look at this. Starfish. Starfish is the example of phylum Echinodermata. Okay. It is the starfish which is the example of phylum. Yes, it is the starfish which is the example of phylum Chordata. You can see here. Okay. You can see here the phylum Chordata, the example of phylum Chordata here. So like, see, this is the anus. Can you see this canal in the surrounding? This ring canal in the surrounding, right? These are the 5 arms, no? See, so one canal is going to this arm, one to this, and this. The central part is the ring canal. Okay, and here in the surrounding of this canal, you will see some structures like this. They are the tube feet. Okay, it is a tube feet having this podium and all. It will also help in that locomotion. Okay, it will also help in that locomotion. Okay, see this. So this part, see, radial canals, they are covered with the tube feet, right? They are covered with the tube feet having ampulla, having podium. It helps in locomotion, right? In the surrounding, you will see the digestive gland, which is complete. See, this is the ring canal. So what is going to happen, bache? This part, here you have the sieve-like structure, right? Here, what will you see? You will see a sieve-like structure. Sieve-like structure. We used to call it as madreporite. What is it? It is madreporite. So the water will come from this part. It's a sieve-like structure, so you cannot say that everything can enter here. No, it's a sieve-like structure which is madreporite. Water will enter and then water will move to the different canals. So in this way, it will help in the transportation, even in the food capturing. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? So madreporite is there, right? Then there is this calcareous ring canal is there, right? Okay. So this is the water vascular system, also known as ambulacral system. Water vascular system, also known as ambulacral system. Fine. Ambulacral system. Okay. Okay. So ring canal, radial canals, and the tube feet in the surrounding. So if there is any doubt from this part, please tell me. Yes, bache. Please tell me if there is any doubt. Do you have any doubt? Sure? Sure? Okay. So, yes, bache, for the respiration now, in the case of this echinoderms, for the respiration, even gills are present. Even from skin it can be done. Gills are present. And in some forms, we will see the structures known as dermal branchiae, right? We will even see the structures known as dermal branchiae. What are they? They are dermal branchiae, right? Dermal branchiae. So reproduction is sexual, fertilization is usually external, development is indirect, like larval stages are there. And let me tell you, bache, no doubt they are dioecious. Like you will see right? You will see two different sexes. The male is there, the female is there, but there is no sexual dimorphism. Okay, there is no sexual dimorphism. Like, you cannot differentiate externally that this one is male, this one is female. In the case of humans, you can do so. In the case of cockroach, you can do so, but not in the case of starfish. You cannot just look at them and say, oh, this one is male, this one is female. No, no, they look same. Okay. Okay. And starfish is having a very great power of regeneration. This is what you need to remember. They have very great power of regeneration. And this is the peculiar feature in the case of Phylum Echinodermata, the presence of water vascular system. So do not confuse water canal system, which is in poriferans, water vascular system, which is in echinoderms. Please do not confuse it. Literally do not confuse it. Okay. And moreover, even in the water vascular system, there are some other words also. We talk about the stone canals, we talk about the tideman bodies, but it is not the part of your NCERT, so we are not discussing that. Okay, we are not discussing that. Manoj bache, blastopore. It is a pore-like structure which will develop, which will form during the embryonic stages, right? Attend the human reproduction section, human reproduction chapter tomorrow. You will get to know about it. Fine, bache. So this is what you need to remember. Okay, so endodermal skeleton is there, mesodermal skeleton is there, and then examples. So see, Asterias, the starfish, Echinus, the sea urchin, this rounded circular structure, Ophiura, the brittle star, right? Ophiura is not there. So Antedon, the sea lily, right? And even Cucumeria, sea cucumber. So it is important. So do not confuse Gorgonia, which is sea fan, Penatula, which is sea feather or sea pen, with this, right? So sea lily, Antedon, echinoderms. Brittle star, Ophiura, echinoderms. Sea cucumber, Cucumeria, echinoderms. Clear bache? Clear bache? Done? Done. So please take the screenshot. Please take the screenshot. Done? So Cucumeria, Antedon, sea lily, Echinus, sea urchin, Ophiura, brittle star. Clear bache? Sure. And do you know Asteris, the starfish, I told you it is having the great power of regeneration, right? So if, let's say, if starfish is in a trouble, if a crab is saying, I want to eat the arm of starfish, right? I want to eat the arm of starfish. Starfish will be like, take my arm, I will regrow it. Okay. Literally starfish will be like this, I will regrow it. So that type of, that process is basically autotomy. Autotomy. That starfish can itself cut its arm, it will give it to that crab that you eat it, I will regrow. So it is having the great power of regeneration. Okay, it is having a great power of regeneration. Done. So the body is, you know, that spiny body. So dorsal side will be having the anus, the ventral side will be having the mouth. Okay. And moreover, if you talk about the sea cucumber, I think, yes. So in their case, you know, means basically some echinoderms, they can even, when they are angry or when they're scared, they can even pass out their visceral organ. Imagine. They can even vomit out their visceral organ. Okay. So see, animal kingdom, a lot of diversity is there, right? If you will, even if you will study about the birds, na bache, so birds are also very different. Like birds are very interesting, birds behavior. So you can talk about any animal. Animal behavior is literally very interesting. How do they behave? How do they respond in different situations? Okay, done. So next is the hemichordata. Next is the hemichordata, which is a connecting link. This phylum is a connecting link. Connecting link in between, yes, in between non-chordates and chordates. It's a connecting link in between non-chordates and the chordates. Okay, so hemichordates. Earlier they were placed in the phylum chordata because in their body, na, one, you know, rod-like structure is there. A rod-like structure is there. That rod-like structure is stomochord. So earlier scientists thought that it is the notochord, so they placed them in the phylum Chordata. But later on they realized that it is the part of gut. It is the part of gut. It is basically diverticulum. So it is not the notochord. So then they kept it in a different phylum, Hemichordata. So they have the characters of both chordates as well, non-chordates as well, right? So phylum Chordata is also, in the phylum Chordata also organisms are exclusively marine. Okay, so see, they were earlier considered as a subphylum under phylum Chordata, but now they got one separate phylum. Okay, so they have worm-like marine organisms, animals. So they are also exclusively marine. So bache, just type the name of the phylums which are exclusively marine. Quickly type the name of the phylums which are exclusively marine. Be quick. Just type the name of the phylums which are exclusively marine. Quick. Yes. Bache, 3 phylums are there, na? Phylum Ctenophora, your Phylum Echinodermata, Phylum Hemichordata, right? And if they will ask subphylum, then the story will be different. Right now, I'm asking the names of the phylum, not the subphylum. Okay, not the subphylum. So members are exclusively marine. They are worm-like, bache, right? Organ system level of organization is there. And then again, here also you will see open type of circulatory system. What will you see here? Open type of circulatory system. Clear? Open type of circulatory system. Done? So triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical, coelomate animals they are. So see this, they have the anterior proboscis. Okay, they have the anterior proboscis. So bache, this proboscis helps in excretion. Okay, this proboscis, it helps in excretion. So proboscis, collar and the trunk is present. This is how their body is divided. Proboscis, collar and the trunk. Right, proboscis, collar and the trunk. Done. So circulatory system, as I said, it is open type. Respiration will take place through the gills. Right, excretory organ is proboscis gland. Sexes are separate, means they are dioecious. They are unisexual. Fertilization external, development is indirect. So this velenoglossus is a connecting link in between non-chordates and chordates. Clear, bache? It is a connecting link in between non-chordates and chordates. Yes. Any doubt? Any doubt? Any doubt? Any doubt? So worm-like they are. Right, proboscis, collar, trunk is present. So obviously they are also enterocoelomates. Circulatory system is open type. Heart is dorsally present. Respiratory pigment is the vanadium. Okay, heart is dorsally present. And coelom is enterocoelom. Right, it is enterocoelom. Clear, bache? Clear. So any doubt? Yes, see, this is a worm-like body. Can you see this slimy worm-like creature? This worm-like creature. Okay, so Hemichordata, you can see here. Yes, so initially, because they have this in their collar region, the stomochord was present. So they were considered as the chordates, but it is just the part of gut or diverticulum, stomochord. Okay. Done, bache. So rest you can see the proboscis, collar and the trunk is present. Okay, circulatory system again is of open type. Respiration will be through the gills. So these are the points that you need to focus. And here we have the diagram. And the next portion is your phylum Chordata. Okay. So when do you want to finish it? You want to finish it today? Like we can take the break for 10 to 15 minutes and then we can start again. So it will take around, phylum Chordata will easily take around 2 hours. Yes, in the phylum Chordata, we need to discuss the urochordates, the cephalochordates and the vertebrates. And among vertebrates, we will talk about the Gnathostomata, Agnatha. In Agnatha, we will talk about the superclass Pisces and superclass Tetrapoda. right? In superclass Pisces, we will talk about the chondrichthyes and the osteichthyes. The class is chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. Okay, and in the case of tetrapoda, we will talk about the amphibians, the reptiles, the apes, the mammalia. Okay, so obviously it will take, I think, 2 to 2.5 hours. So we can do one thing, we will finish it in next class. Okay, we will keep it in 3 parts because this chapter is lengthy. Okay, this chapter is lengthy, and not just lengthy, if we'll take 2 sessions of 4 hours, we can finish it. But the point here is this chapter is so informative. There are so many things to remember. Okay, so we have to revise. No, tomorrow we are not going to continue it. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. we will go for the chapter human reproduction. So basically I want to finish this chapter first. Okay, I want to finish this chapter first. So we can take it on Wednesday or Tuesday, Wednesday. Fine? Tuesday or Wednesday. Done? Sure? So in the next class, we'll start with the phylum Chordata. But yes, let me tell you, right? Chalo, it's okay. So what will we discuss? We'll talk about the phylum Chordata. So in the phylum Chordata, we have to discuss everything till class level. Okay, till class level. So in phylum Chordata, there are 3 subphylums. What do we have? There are 3 subphylums. So for subphylum, the trick is you can win. This is V. This is V basically. You can win. So U stands for Urochordata. U stands for Urochordata. C stands for Cephalochordata. Okay. And V stands for Vertebrata. It is Vertebrata. So these are the 3 subphylums that we need to discuss in the next class. And moreover, Urochordata and Cephalochordata, they both are primitive chordates. Right? They both are primitive chordates. So obviously we consider them as protochordates. Okay? They are protochordates. And we humans, we are the part of this, your subphylum Vertebrata. Okay? We are the part of the subphylum Vertebrata. Okay? So rest we will discuss later, right? I'll tell you this, I'll provide you the schedule. Tomorrow from 11 a.m. we'll start the chapter human reproduction. We will start from gametogenesis, menstrual cycle, and then the complete, that embryonic developments. That is what we need to discuss. Okay, that is what we need to discuss. That is what we need to cover. So I hope you all enjoyed it. So please revise it, bache. Start making the notes, and in the comment section, again, it's a request. It will hardly take your 10 seconds. Please put a comment, right? Please put a comment, and I will share the PDF today after the class. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Stay tuned.